Okay, everybody, we're going to get ready to start the meeting here in a couple minutes. If everybody going to finish up their conversations. Okay. Yeah. And you think about it. No, me neither. You can see on your phone. Okay, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody out there. See, we got a full crowd. It's going to be a great meeting. Welcome to the City of Dania Beach regular City Commission meeting, Tuesday, May 14th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Can we please have a roll call, clerk?
Yes. Mayor Ryan?
Here.
Vice Mayor Llewellyn?
Here.
Commissioner Davis?
Here.
Commissioner James?
Here.
Commissioner Salvino?
Here.
City Attorney Bootsas?
Here.
City Manager Garcia?
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, clerk. If we could all please take a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I feel like I'm in school.
Good job, kids.
Good job, kids.
Okay, we're going to go to our presentations and special event approvals. Item 3.1 is the Earth Day Art Contest winners, and this is sponsored by Commissioner Joyce Davis.
Well, good evening, everyone. Oh, this is so exciting. Good evening. I am so thrilled to have all of you here this evening. Earth Day is every day in Dania Beach, and we have been doing the Earth Day Art Contest for 3 years now, and it has gotten bigger and bigger and better every single year. And even though our poor little Earth Day got rained out, I am so proud of the work that our Dania Beach students are doing, that our community is doing, and that our Parks and Rec is doing, and that our parks camps are doing. And so I would be remiss if we did not take this opportunity to come and recognize all of the fantastic art winners that we have for Earth Day. It is very, very exciting. And so without further ado, we have a lot of winners here this evening. And so I'm going to ask Maxine to help me with the presentations, but this was a community effort by Dania Beach Elementary. Give it up for Dania Beach Elementary. Lighthouse for Students. Is Lighthouse for Students in the house? Lighthouse for Students. Let's give it up for our PJ Millie Camp. And our wonderful, wonderful, awesome Olson Middle School. As an educator and the commission liaison for the art board, I absolutely love putting art and education together, and that's what all of these art projects have done this evening. And so without further ado, and my colleagues are going to get ready to take some pictures, we are going to introduce, coming up on 100 years, our Dania Beach Elementary School first place winner. Dr. Jackson is in the house. How many of our Dania Beach Elementary? There we go. Give it up for Dr. Jackson. And our first place winner is going, and the teachers are Dania Elementary and assistant principal. Let's give it up for our teacher and elementary teachers and principal. And last but certainly not least, our very first place winner, Elena Annan from the 4th grade. Everyone from Dania Elementary, let's come on up. You gotta take a picture with each one of them. Slowly, okay.
I was trying to find the name. Everyone look and smile. Yes, you are. Keep smiling. Is everybody happy? Great job. I got it. I like it. Thank you. Good job.
Oh, well, you can just stay down here. Okay. Well, let me get my paper. Lighthouse. I can't mess up Miss Campa's artwork.
Joyce, do you want this? You want your glasses? You want me to hold your hand? You got it.
All right. And next, we have Lighthouse for Students. I do see Lighthouse for Students. Do we have our first place winner attending Lighthouse for Students after school program, Kayla Filongi? Did I say it right?
Everyone take 1 foot to that way. Other side, that is. There we go.
Awesome.
And next up, we have our awesome Olson Middle School winner.
Right here, we got it.
What is it? Anything else, Mama?
At this time, we're going to have before we introduce our winner, we have our Broward County Teacher of the Year in the house. We have Miss Basti Larison, and give it up for our Teacher of the Year. And we also have our School-Related Employee of the Year, Mr. Alexander Wilhelm. Come on now. And when we celebrate our students, we celebrate them. So we are going to get the first place winner out here. Please come on down, Miss Adrita. Adrita, where are you, Adrita?
I got it. I got it. You're in it.
And then, and our overall, I want to hear a resounding applause for our overall winner for first place, Mr. Juan Sanchez. From PJ Millie Park. He is from PJ Millie After School Camp, and we love our PJ Millie kids. Come on down. And your mom, come on down, fam. He's got both. You gonna hold that? Okay. Got it. Okay. All right.
Okay. Everyone fits. Big smiles. I got it. Thank you.
And this year, because we had so many amazing artists, we had to choose a center winner. Our overall center winner, please give a resounding applause for PJ Millie Camp. Yes, give it up. PJ Millie, all of the artwork that you see up here has been made from recycled items, whether it is paper towels, whether it's egg cartons, plastic knives, plastic tops. This artwork was absolutely stunning. When our parks director came and she saw me, she said, Commissioner Davis, you have got to see this artwork from PJ Millie. And I said, there's just no way that we cannot display this in a very, very big way. So I want to, at this time, bring up our fantastic, growing, amazing parks director, who is going to also introduce the woman behind all of this wonderful art from PJ Millie, Miss Cassie Warren.
Good evening. I'm going to keep mine short and brief, but every year Commissioner Davis challenges us at the centers to do some sort of Earth Day artwork themed project at our centers with our aftercare. So we do it at C.W. Thomas, we do it at PJ Millie, and we do it at Frost Park. Miss Vivian Campa came up with this project idea for these kids at PJ Millie. And when I showed up, all of the kids had their artwork displayed nice and neatly. Each one of them told me exactly why they built or produced what they did and the reason behind it, whether it was the lion, for example. If you continue to pollute the earth, then the lions will no longer be able to live in this earth and in this atmosphere. So each one of them presented exactly what the reason why they made the art piece. And this time I want to bring up Miss Vivian Campa, who was the mastermind behind these projects with the kids.
I appreciate it, being recognized. It's an honor. Thank you so much. The idea came from, I'm very passionate about the environment. It upsets me to see what's going on. When I heard about this project, I said, we're not just gonna draw something. We're not just gonna paint something. We're gonna use what it means. So I told them trash can be art, and that's exactly what this is. These are items that you throw away every single day, and our earth can't take it. But so we decided to turn it into art. The butterfly, it's made out of eggshells and plastic ware, silverware, tableware. The fish, it's made out of bubble wrap, a bottle cap, and also some soda top that you use from the fountain sodas. Dania Beach, the palm tree, the coconuts, the toilet paper rolls, the coffee stirrers. Then we have here the shark. His teeth are made out of plastic knives, and the rest were all bottle caps. We have the heart. She said she loves the earth, so she made a big heart. Over here, we have our little ones. They said that they love flowers. And then here they we can see it's a water bottle, more straws. And here, my youngest two, they depicted a pretty earth and a not so pretty earth. And our winner, which is the lion, El León, he made, the mane is actually out of paper towel rolls that were painted, and then he cut them and we glued them all around. And mayonnaise jars are the ears, I guess. So I'm very proud of them. They all had their own vision. I guided them, but they all had their own vision. Like the shark, I told him, oh, let's make the fins out of the soda. He's like, no, I want to do, it's your project. So they all had their own vision, and I'm very proud of them. And so I just want to say a couple of words in Spanish because their parents don't really speak English, if I may. Entonces le quería decir que estoy muy orgullosa de los niños de PJ Melly de Rising Stars por presentar estos proyectos tan bellos. Lo hicieron con mucho corazón, mucha alma y mucho interés de saber por qué estábamos haciendo esto, porque aquí en este país se celebra el Día de la Tierra. Y el Día de la Tierra representa cosas que la tierra no puede absorber. Entonces no se pueden reciclar, se botan en la basura y hay mucha basura, y les estoy tratando de enseñar que hasta en basura hay arte. Okay? So, gracias por apoyarlos a ellos y dejarlos entrar en esta competencia. Muy orgullosa. Gracias.
Come on up here if you can, but let's give it up for, we're gonna take up one more photo, but let's give it up for all of our art contest winners. And we're gonna have all of the art contest winners to come back up, get a bag, and receive a prize. All the art contest winners, come back up, come back up.
Come, Deborah.
Perfect. Yeah, they all fit. Big smile. Big smiley. Okay, one more. Thank you. Gracias.
You leave them.
For the Parks, okay, that's Parks and Rec, okay.
Yes.
Thank you all, thank you so much.
Okay, we still got a couple more presentations to go. Commissioner Davis, go ahead.
I do have a surprise. I almost forgot. We do have a surprise. If you guys are hungry, thirsty, and love art, we do have Mad Arts is hosting a little reception at Mad Arts. What's the address off the top, Mark? 481 US 1. South Federal Highway. All right, thank you. So if everybody will be invited over. They have drinks. You can celebrate and have a great time. There's a wonderful art exhibit downstairs on the first floor, and you all are all invited to go to Mad Arts right now and enjoy the reception, unless you want to stay and watch the rest of the commission meeting. So you have the option to go down. Yes, say it in Spanish.
Sí, la comisionadora le quiere avisar que hay una recepción que es gratis, que todos los padres pueden ir a participar ahí en la 481 y la US 1. 481 Federal Highway, va a haber comida y va a haber para tomar y pueden ir con los hijos ahora para celebrar.
All right. Thank you, Madam Manager. Okay. Up next, we have item 3.2. This is teacher appreciation. I guess we'll let everybody leave first. We'll give everybody a little moment here. Por favor, exitar en silencio.
No, leave it and we'll bring it back to this.
That's good. Thank you, Mark. That's been good. He just offered that this morning. I almost forgot.
Tamara, what'd you say is your son's? Oh, okay. Okay, it just started. I think it's gonna be a high score game. Okay, everybody, if you could please exit quietly. Yeah, por favor, éxito, silencio. A little. All right, I made everybody louder with that. Okay. Item 3.2 is for teacher appreciation, and this is a Parks and Recreation item. Cassie, please.
Good evening. Again, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but each year the Education Advisory Board works with the schools. This year, Olson, Collins, and Dania Elementary, and they are recognizing a Teacher of the Year and an Employee of the Year, and they receive donations, which are these bags, to give each of the recipients. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to the chair of the board, Mary Jane Guerra, and she will give you all the details of the work that they put into this.
Oh, 1 second. Please, back there, can I have some order? We need some quiet. Need some quiet here. No, I'm okay. Please, besides the crying baby, everybody be quiet. Thank you.
The baby may continue crying.
Yes.
Good evening, Mayor Ryan, Commissioners Davis, James, Llewellyn, Salvino, and City Manager Garcia. Esteemed educators, honorable guests, and fellow citizens of the great city of Dania Beach. I'm Mary Jane Guerra, Chair of the Dania Beach Education Advisory Board, and this is our third year celebrating Teacher Appreciation Week here in the city. we want to honor the dedicated efforts of all the teachers and employees of Collins Elementary, Daney Elementary, and Olson Middle School. Tonight, as we celebrate the designated teacher and employee of the year of each school, they will receive a plaque donated by the City of Dania Beach and gifts that were kindly donated by generous businesses of our communities. Automatically Perfect from Engaged to Marry, Bolero, Dairy Bell, Eureka, North Shore Masonic Lodge, Firebirds Wood Fired Grill, Kimco Realty, Pliables, Rhodesia Grill, Tasteful Thoughts, Ulta, and World Cat of South Florida. Our Teachers of the Year, all three of them, have been gifted stays by the following local hotels: 4 Points by Sheraton Fort Lauderdale Airport, Hampton Inn and Suites Fort Lauderdale Airport, and Spring Hill Suites by Marriott. I would like to extend my gratitude to the Executive Director of the Greater Dania Beach Chamber of Commerce, Randy Shane, who connected us with many of the amazing donors, and to Alberline Pollard, the Administrative Coordinators at Parks and Recreation, for helping us organize this event every year. And now, the Teachers and Employees of the Year will be presented by their respective principals. We invite Dr. Tracy Jackson to present the honorees for Collins Elementary.
To Mayor, Vice Mayor, and the Commission Board, thank you so much for allowing our Teacher of the Year and our School-Related Employee of the Year this honor. Before I get started, I first want to say thank you so much for your support. As you know, we at Collins Elementary School have been doing a lot of different activities between February and April, and we did not get a chance to be a part of the art showcase, but hopefully, prayerfully, next year we can do that. We were just celebrating a little 65-year anniversary for our school, so thank you so much for your support in all of those efforts. And thank you so much, Ms. Garcia. I want to make mention of you as well, because I know that we are part of your heart. So thank you. With that being said, I would like to, it gives me great pleasure to bring forth to you our School-Related Employee of the Year first, because she is one of those people that you will see as soon as you come and say, I want to enroll my child at Collins Elementary School. Could we please have Miss Mara Valerio to please come forward? Ms. Valerio has been at Collins Elementary School for 8 years, and her dedication and hard work to the students and faculty at Collins Elementary School is endless. Come on down, Ms. Valerio. She serves as our information management technician and registrar at Collins Elementary School. So that's why I say she is the first person that you will see after you say those names. She has created a warm atmosphere for customer service. She also assists our bilingual parents with school operations. I could say many things about her because I know she has a heart of gold. And I'm just so happy that she is our School-Related Employee of the Year. As she is going around, I'm going to keep it moving. If we can have our Teacher of the Year from Collins Elementary, Mrs. Brandy Presley, to come forward. Ms. Presley has been at Collins Elementary School for 3 years. She is affectionately known as Coach. She is our physical education teacher. She has the innate ability to round up and rally the teachers and the students. This is one of the first attributes that I noticed about her leadership ability when I met her. She has a coach's mentality, but a servant's heart. She does not mind lending a hand to those who are in need. She does the activity of our inclusion coach. She makes sure that we include all of our ESE students in all of our activities at the school. Some days it's kind of hard to keep up with her because it looks as though she has roller skates. She's all over the place. But isn't that what we want from a servant's heart? And so it gives me great pleasure tonight to introduce to you all for recognition our Teacher of the Year, Miss Brandy Presley, Coach. Thank you all so very much. And I believe at this time we will have Dr. Lou Jackson to come forth, no relation, but good friend, to come forward for Dania Beach Elementary.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson. Hello, Dr. Jackson. Yeah.
The second Dr. Jackson. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, everybody up on the dais. I don't want to miss anybody. Good evening, Dania Beach. It's a great time to be here, right? So I have had the distinct honor of being the principal at Dania Elementary for the past 14 years, and it's just been a pleasure. And during that time, I've seen some wonderful people come and go, and tonight we're here to honor a couple of those people. My Employee of the Year this year was selected by her peers, and she came to us 15 years ago. And I don't want to jump on the old birthday wagon and who's older or anything, Dr. Jackson, but we are in the 111th year at our site, so it's something to celebrate also. This person came to us first, and she's worked her way up. She came first as a substitute teacher. And when asked why she wanted to be in education, she said she had a love of children, and she really wanted to make a change with the children, make sure that they had a strong education, and they were ready when they left school to really tackle whatever they were going to do in their life afterwards. After being a sub, we saw what she had, the talent she had. I also hired her then as a pool sub. For anybody not in the school, that's somebody that comes each and every day, and you put them wherever you need them, and she did a great job. So then we hired her as a teacher assistant and did a great job for us there. And eventually as a clerk, and that's where she's been for the remaining years. We affectionately call her our official shopper because she works with the business center, and anything we need, she's the one that gets the quotes, she's the one that does everything for us, and she does it with a smile. Please, I am so proud to introduce you to Robin Tepper. And next, while she's coming up to move the meeting right along, she left her beautiful island of Jamaica and came to the United States, and we found her teaching 5th grade in Arizona. And I guess she just loves that hot weather, so she was smart enough to pack up and come to Dania Beach, and we were just so very, very thrilled to get her. She has been teaching for the past 4 years as a 5th grade math teacher. The students recognize her as somebody that's strong, that's serious, but also brings a very motherly, very nurturing, and a love for the children. And they feel that each and every day. They get that strength that they need. They get that the rules, everything else that goes with it, but they know they can really count on her also. This is a person that her peers have selected her, not only for this award, but for the past 2 years, she's been the team leader for our 5th grade. She is a wonderful asset to our school and our community. Please welcome up Miss Wedner Radigan.
We'd like all the recipient winners to come in and we'll take a picture. Yeah, we can stand back here and they'll be in the front.
Wait, we have one more school, right?
Yep, still got one more.
I'll give it to her.
So tonight, we are going to honor the Teacher of the Year, Miss Vasti Larison, please. And Mr. Alexander Wilhelm, Employee of the Year.
All right.
And as we close this celebration, I just want, taking into account the opportunity that we have to be here, my fellow members here present, I want the community to know that we're closely monitoring the outcomes of all the decisions that are impacting our schools, specifically with Olson Middle School. We are with all of you, parents, teachers, children. We are in support, and we really want to work closely with everyone. And thank you very much to the city for the opportunity that we have every year. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have the recipients please come up? Stand here and we'll stand right behind you. Yeah, the Education Advisory Board, any member, please come up as well. Well, right there, right there.
Where'd they all go? Did they all leave? No, here we go. And our principal. What else is it? Principal's coming. We're coming. Okay. This is Keenan. Perfect. That's everyone. Come on, Miss Keenan. She's taking pictures. She's taking pictures. She never wants to.
You all fit? There's room for one more. Perfect. Big smiles. Keep smiling. Okay, I got it.
All right. Thank you so much. We can't thank our educators and administrators enough at our schools in Dania. Okay, for the next item of business is item 3.3. This is Lead with Love Mural Project, which is sponsored by Commissioner Joyce Davis. Oh, Commissioner Davis, you are on.
Thank you, Mayor. It gives me great pleasure to continue this theme with the arts. And as I see him walking in, please give it up for Mark Aptekin, who sponsored all the wonderful kids for their art reception this evening. Thank you, Mark. We really appreciate that. And okay. And at this time, it gives me further excitement and honor to get ready to introduce Ms. Robin Vegas. She came to the Broward League of Cities meeting and did a presentation about public art. As you know, our first public art piece was Let Love Guide Your Way. And this is a wonderful opportunity that kind of continues with that theme of see it, live it, love it with art in Dania Beach. The impact of art and culture. And so I thought it was very appropriate for her to now come and share this wonderful opportunity with the commission. And I believe she will also share it with the art board. But I wanted you all to know that we do have a window of opportunity to be a part of this amazing project. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce Ms. Robin Vegas.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. So I'm the Executive Director of Business for the Arts of Broward. We're a nonprofit and we basically connect the business and the arts community. So has anyone seen this movie? This movie brought a part of my childhood to life and I had a deep nostalgic connection to it. And I think that's what art does. It brings an emotional response. It created, worldwide success, grossed over $1.38 billion. And I think if I asked you guys, how has art impacted you personally, you might think of a concert you attended or a theater show, a movie, a book. Maybe you went to another city and went to a museum. But if I ask you to tell me how business and art are connected, sometimes people don't know how to articulate the connection. So that's what I want to talk about today. One example that we like to talk about is the Boeing relocation. In 2001, according to the New York Times, Boeing was relocating and looking at either Dallas or Chicago. And everyone thought they were going to go to Dallas because of the financial incentives. But they chose Chicago, and they specifically said it was because of the quality of life and the art and cultural offerings that were in Chicago. So as business leaders, we need to understand the economic impact that arts have on our community and how a thriving art and culture can help drive tourism and create a better place for people to live, work, and play. So here's a few examples of the business of art. Hamilton investors paid $12.5 million, which is an average amount to produce the play, and they saw a 600% return on their investment. And as of December, they've grossed over $904 billion. Another example is Chicago's Millennium Park. In 1998, Chicago Mayor Daley established this partnership to create the Millennium Park in the business district. And the first year they opened, over 2 million people visited the park. And now about 3 million people visit each year and spend $150 to $300 per day. Here's another example, Art Basel, our local event that we have here in South Florida. It's 5 days and it produces $500 million in revenue. And all of these types of events, the trickle-down effect, you know, it helps support restaurants, hotels, party planners, rideshare companies, caterers, so many businesses able to see the benefit of arts in their community. According to Americans for the Arts' recent survey, 79% of Americans believe art and culture is important to their economy, business, and local job, and 86% believe it helps improve their community's quality of life. And just in Broward County, our art and culture organizations bring in $386 million in revenue each year. However, only 53% of our art and cultural organizations took the survey, so the number's much higher than what we see here. So this is why we think it's important to support the arts. They do strengthen our economy, they can improve health and well-being, they can help strengthen our communities instead of dividing people, they can bring people together. Of course, we know they improve education, and we see, you know, an example of that here today, these students learning about Earth Day through art and help our communities to flourish by preserving the character of the community. So what the project is that we decided to bring together with you is called Lead with Love. We're working with the Community Foundation of Broward and a world-renowned artist named Say Adams. And that's the show that Commissioner Davis mentioned is at Mad Arts right now. So Say actually emerged from the graffiti movement. He exhibited alongside artists like Jean-Michel Basquiat, Keith Haring. He was the only artist who was asked to create a piece of art for the Smithsonian African American Museum. The image on the top is the flag that he created in the museum. And then he went on to work for Hip Hop Def Jam Recordings, where he designed album covers and logos for different musical groups such as the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, LL Cool J, Public Enemy, Mary J. Blige, Notorious B.I.G., Maroon 5, Jay-Z, and many, many more. He also was recognized by President Obama for his artistic contributions, so he's a big deal. And so our idea is to have 9 murals painted in 9 cities in Broward by Say Adams, and each mural will say love. So the goal of the project is for people to love where they live and people to love to visit Broward County. So we want to work on this project for the next 3 to 5 years and execute one or two murals each year. Here's just a few of the companies that Say has worked for: Apple, Google, Mattel, Levi's, Foot Locker, Converse, YouTube, Bacardi, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Dave Chappelle, and on and on and on. So these are some of the murals that he has done that say love. This is actually the first one he created to honor a jazz musician named Preston Love. And this was in Omaha, Nebraska at the Jazz Center. Preston Love played with Ray Charles, Lena Horne, Billie Holiday, Johnny Otis, Aretha Franklin, the Four Tops, the Temptations, Gladys Knight, Marvin Gaye, and on and on. And after Say created this first love mural, everyone in the country was calling him. They wanted him to paint love murals. It became very popular, and he began painting murals around the country. And that was the inspiration for us to want to have a love mural in Broward. Here's just a few examples of some others that he's painted. This one is in Minnesota. He did this one in 2019. The next two actually are under a bridge, and they face each other in Brooklyn. So this one faces this one.
I like that.
This one he did in Wynwood for Levi's. You can kind of see the Levi's look of that mural. This one is in Boston, in Beantown, in the Urban Art Park. This one is in Detroit. Any of you who might know the Detroit Spinners, they had a song called Mighty Love. So this kind of paid homage to that band in Detroit. This one is in Minnesota. Oh, sorry, Michigan. Then the one on the top was in Massachusetts. And then the one on the bottom, he painted for Levi's 150th anniversary. He painted it on denim, and it's in their corporate headquarters. Here's another one that he painted at a church. And then in 2022, he partnered with Mattel to create a Hot Wheels love van. So you see the little van he created with his love mural. When it went on sale online, it sold out in like 6 seconds. And here's our first mural in Broward County. We just unveiled this on Valentine's Day. It's on Las Olas Boulevard near the Tunnel Top Park and across from the Cheesecake Factory. So with the Community Foundation, we had the opportunity to have them come out and paint with us. And just, some of the return on investment, I talked to you about the dollars and the examples of the money, but some stories with art are just feel good. So this little girl at the top, she walked by every day with her mom or her dad and looked at the mural. And then one day she was given a brush and allowed to paint a heart. And then the next time she walked by the mural, she pointed to the heart and kissed it and said, "That's my heart." So this is just something I wanted to bring to you guys. If you wanted to be one of our 9 cities, we'd love to have further conversation with the city of Dania Beach to bring an iconic mural here to you.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have any questions? What would it entail to get involved to be one of the 9 cities?
Right. So we did make a wish list of our 9 cities that we were thinking of, and Dania Beach was on our list. We know that you guys are doing a lot with art, and we would love to bring a mural here. So we're asking the cities to provide a wall and then to provide some part of the budget toward the mural. It's really hard to estimate the cost because it really depends on many factors, like how big the wall is, the complexity of the design, if the wall's ready to paint or needs to be prepped. But our Community Foundation and Business for the Arts of Broward are raising the majority of the money for the murals. And so, I think Joyce Davis, you mentioned an amount that you guys might have toward a wall, and we would work with you to raise the additional amount of money needed.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Davis?
Yes, so this would obviously have to go through our art board process, but this was a presentation to kind of let the commission know what would be coming down the pike, and so that we would have the opportunity, if we could maybe have consensus to move forward, so that we can be included in one of the first cities that would receive one of these murals, and so to make sure that we would be one of be on the top of that list. And so you're doing 1 to 2 a year, and I know that our public art board does have a budget, so I just wanted to put the information out there, and then we will invite you to come and present to our art board and bring it back to the commission for final approval. Just wanted to make sure that the commission was interested in moving forward with this project. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Commissioner James?
Robin, all of the murals would say love? Yes, and you guys would have to... You got to come back to the mic. I'm sorry. And then how many cities in Broward County are you doing it with? 9? Okay.
Yes, so we're gonna do 9 murals. We already did the first. We're doing another one at Huizenga Park, the new park that's being renovated. City of Plantation has signed on. They want to do a mural in Plantation off of Sunrise Boulevard. And then Dania Beach is the next one that has been, shown interest. Others that are on our list, Hollywood just reached out to me last week. And Pompano Beach. And then we have a couple more. So we're trying to line up all the murals right now, like which cities we want to work with, and then schedule them. We probably are going to do 2 a year or maybe 3, depending on the schedule. And they would all say love, and then you guys would help decide what your love says, or, what not says, but what's the message behind your love, colors, patterns, and so forth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do I have consensus from the commission to move forward? Yep, we have consensus. All right, thank you very much. We're going to go out of order here a little bit. We're going to go to item 3.6, which is request for proclamation approvals. We have National Maritime Month, May 22nd, 2024, sponsored by Mayor Ryan. We have retroactive proclamation for Anthony Moultrie Sr. This is sponsored by Commissioner James. National Safe Boating Week, May 18th to the 24th, sponsored by me. And Jewish American Heritage Month, sponsored by Vice Mayor Llewellyn. Do I have approval for the proclamations? Okay, we have approval for the proclamations, and now I'm going to get into the proclamations as well. So for item 4.1, we're going to put this one in, and this is for National Safe Boating Week. We have our Coast Guard flotilla here. Guys, come on up and we'll present it. Okay, so we're proud to have our Coast Guard flotilla here in Dania Beach, and this is a proclamation of the Office of the Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida. Whereas on average, 650 people die each year in boating-related accidents in the United States, with most of these accidents caused by human error and poor judgment, and not by the boat, equipment, or environmental factors. Whereas on June 23rd, 2024, the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary will celebrate its 85th year of volunteer service to Dania Beach and to the boaters of America. And whereas the Coast Guard Auxiliary Flotilla 39 proudly serves the U.S. Coast Guard Station Fort Lauderdale and the City of Dania Beach residents by teaching boating safety classes, conducting vessel safety checks, and provides for harbor safety patrols, assisting the U.S. Coast Guard and local law enforcement agencies by patrolling the local waterways. And whereas each day, more than 24,000 Coast Guard Auxiliary volunteers continue to provide support to Coast Guard units across the U.S. by saving lives and property, assisting recreational boaters, conducting safety patrols, performing vessel safety checks, teaching boating safety courses to educate recreational boaters, and participating with the U.S. Coast Guard in training and support missions. And whereas Flotilla 39 of Dania Beach supports boating safety by providing operational, clear channel support, providing safe transit for cruise ships, tankers, freighters, and other commercial vessel traffic through Port Everglades. And whereas this year, May 18th to the 24th, 2024, is National Safe Boating Week in the United States. And the U.S. Coast Guard Station Fort Lauderdale and Coast Guard Auxiliary Flotilla 39 Dania Beach encourages all boaters to help raise awareness about boating responsibly and to take appropriate precautions before leaving the dock this season. And whereas boating is an important part of our national and local heritage, let us respect Safe Boating Week and carry that tradition forward by following common sense safety procedures and keeping our lakes, ICW, and Atlantic Ocean safe and clean for all to enjoy. Now, therefore, on behalf of the City of Dania Beach Commission, I, Archibald John Ryan, the 4th Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim May 18th to the 24th, 2024 as National Safe Boating Week in the City of Dania Beach, Florida, and I urge all citizens to support the dedication and efforts of the U.S. Coast Guard and the Coast Guard Auxiliary by promoting year-round safety boating practices. You guys can turn around, we'll stand behind you. We'll get a nice picture.
Could you get the bottom row? Let's scoot a little this way. A little more. There we go. Perfect. Let me get one this way. And one with this phone. Hold on.
Commissioner, you wanted to, Joyce, you want to say something? You want to say something? Okay. Okay, we have another proclamation from Vice Mayor Llewellyn on Jewish American Heritage Month. Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Wait, you're not on. There you go.
So it is Jewish American Heritage Month, this the month of May. I'm going to go ahead and read the proclamation, and I invited Rabbi Eli Eckstein to come here tonight to accept the proclamation on our behalf. From the Office of the Mayor, City of Dania Beach, Florida. Whereas the City of Dania Beach is proud of its rich history and cultural diversity, which can be attributed to the pioneers and immigrants who contributed to our city's successful development, growth, prosperity, and strength. And whereas the month of May is recognized as Jewish American Heritage Month and is a celebration of Jewish Americans who have helped weave the fabric of American history, culture, and society. And whereas Jewish American Heritage Month acknowledges the history of Jewish American contributions from sports, arts, music, and entertainment to medicine, business, science, government, and military service. Across these fields, many Jewish Americans have contributed significantly to this nation's struggle for freedom, justice, and liberty, having helped bring about progress in all aspects of this nation's values and character. And whereas many Jewish people who reached America did so after fleeing oppression, in some cases amid the most grim and gruesome of human experiences during the Holocaust, and did so with the hope of realizing the true promise of building a freer and more just America. And whereas many Jewish women and men made lifelong commitments to confront the enemy of America's noblest goals, racism and oppression. They found solidarity in the civil rights movement, in the fight for women's rights and LGBTQ rights, and in struggles which often mirrored the story of Exodus and the Jewish people's journey through the ages. And whereas the rise in anti-Semitism demands that all Americans know the lessons of the Holocaust, we must recognize that there is an urgent imperative to continually combat prejudice before it firmly takes root. This recent reemergence of violent anti-Semitism requires that we recommit through action and solidarity that an attack on the faith of one is an attack on the faith of all. And whereas this Jewish American Heritage Month, let us join hands across faiths, races, and backgrounds to make clear that evil, hate, and anti-Semitism will not prevail. Let us honor the timeless values, contributions, and culture of Jewish Americans who carry our nation forward every day. And let us rededicate ourselves to the sacred work of creating a more inclusive tomorrow, protecting the diversity that defines who we are as a nation, and preserving the dignity of every human being. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, our Mayor, Archibald J. Ryan IV, of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, does hereby proclaim May 2024 as Jewish American Heritage Month in the City of Dania Beach, Florida, and urge all citizens to join us in thanking the Jewish American community for the many contributions they have made and continue to make to our city, state, and nation.
Please. Yeah, please.
Thank you. You want us to come down or no?
Yeah, we'll come. Come down with the rabbi.
Oh, wait. You okay?
Our clerk broke her.
Thank you very much to the mayor, the vice mayor, the entire commission. Just wanted to express my thanks. You know, you invited a rabbi tonight. I have to talk. I have to say a few. As we know, the Jewish nation has been going through a lot since October 7th. The mayor, the vice mayor, the entire commission here has really been on our side, really supported us. October 8th, the mayor already arranged a conference over here at City Hall to show all the residents in Dania Beach that we have their support. And as things continue getting a little rougher here in America, we know for sure that the city of Dania Beach has our back, and it goes a very long way. I also want to thank a bunch of our congregants tonight that came out tonight to show their support. Give them a round of applause. And I also just want to thank the Broward Sheriff's Office of Dania Beach. That's really been an unbelievable support to our synagogue. We're here really in East Dania Beach, right across basically from City Hall. Passover night when we had our communal Seder, the Broward Sheriff's Office was there. We had maybe 4 or 5 officers in front of the synagogue the entire Seder, which lasted 3 hours long. And it's really, really heartwarming to see that the city over here has our backs. I have friends and rabbis around the country that struggle with the city having their back. So again, I just want to give my utmost thanks to the city of Dania Beach. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. All right. Okay, now we're on item 3.4. This is a presentation on the Avery Apartments by Bob Shapiro. This is sponsored by Commissioner Marco Salvino.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome, Bob. Thank you for coming out tonight and telling us a little bit about, for all of you that don't know Bob Shapiro, he is the visionary of the Dania Point that we all enjoy in our city. Bob and his partner Terry started this that project up in 2014, I think it was. And look what he's brought to the city of Dania Beach for everybody to enjoy. And I want to thank you for that. And he's going to tell you a little bit about the Avery Apartments.
Thank you, Commissioner Salvino, Mr. Mayor, Ms. Vice Mayor, Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be here. I haven't been here in a long time. I'm not going to take a lot of time with everything going on here tonight, but I will tell you that, I'm no longer involved in the Dania Point partnership with Kimco. I was bought out in 2020. But I am, in fact, a partner in Avery Dania Point Apartments. And just as a report, the first building was done a couple of years ago and is 95% leased. The second building was done this past December. And in the first 5 months, we have 170 tenant leases signed. And we think that by the end of the year, that facility will be fully leased as well. We're very appreciative to the building department, to Eleanor, to everybody that has helped us along the way. And we look forward to being good community citizens for whatever you need here. So thank you for the invitation, Commissioner, and thank you, Commissioner and Vice Mayors and Mayor, for listening to me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Shapiro. All right, item 3.5, this is the presentation of the annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year 2022-2023, and this is by our CFO in finance, Frank DiPaolo.
Good evening, Frank DiPaolo, Chief Financial Officer. Thank you very much for the opportunity tonight to talk very briefly about the city's finances and our issuance of the fiscal year 22-23 annual comprehensive financial report. This is one of several documents that we issue in the finance department every year. The first one being our annual budget that's adopted on October 1. That's our award-winning document for 3 years going now that we've been receiving the awards, and we have applied for the current year that we're in. And then we have the annual comprehensive financial report, which is what we're going to talk about briefly tonight. And then lastly, which you've all received, we have the popular annual financial report, which is kind of like the friendly sister report to the financial report. So for those of you who aren't interested in like the detailed stuff about finance, then you can look at the ledger and get a little bit more of a comprehensive overview of what's going on in the city. So we have the GASB, which is kind of like the FASB for corporate. They tell us how we have to account for everything, and that really drives a lot of what we do on a day-to-day basis and the accounting procedures that we undertake to prepare this financial report. And then we have the GFOA, which is a great organization that supports local government finance, and they give us a lot of technical guidance and best practices on how we should implement those GASB standards, and that's what ends up with this report that we've issued. There's multiple components of the report. It's extremely detailed, extremely thorough. Rating agencies use this if we want to issue bonds to give us a rating. This is really the underlying financials that tell everybody whether we're A+, A-, AA, anything like that. That's where that all comes from. Our independent auditors are Citrin Cooperman, formerly Keith McCullough. They're here tonight. Mark Grace is the audit partner. He's been working with the city for a few years now. They're very knowledgeable on the city's finances, and when they do their report, when they do their findings, what they do is that their audit is a test basis. So they don't look at every single transaction. They're not telling you they look at 100% of every transaction and they know that there's zero misstatement and zero mistakes. What it is a reasonable assurance that they're free of material misstatements. So there's nothing really big in there that could be detrimental that they found. It's basically they're saying things are good from a high level. And they issued an unmodified opinion that the FY23 report fairly presents the financial position of the city and it complies with all applicable reporting standards. They also issue several other reports having to do with how we invest public funds, whether there's a financial urgency currently. We had a single audit since we have so many grants from the federal government, so they give us a couple of reports, and Mark will briefly overview that when he speaks in a few moments. Our net position is basically the big picture overview of how much we have in the city, and it increased by 1.2 million for governmental activities. That's our non-enterprise fund. So we're up to 94 million in net position, and about 40 million of that is unrestricted. And what this means is we have a pretty good amount of liquidity on paper, but a lot of that is comprised of non-spendable. It's not cash. It's not just money laying around in drawers and in the safe. It's assets. It's all the other things that make up what you see around you in the city. And some of these net position categories some of them are restricted for certain uses. So you see that $14.9 million number in there. That's restricted. It depends on whether it's for the building permit fund or impact fees or other uses. Business type activities, that's all of our enterprise funds like the water utility, sewer utility, and the pier, the marina, parking fund. We had an $11.6 million increase in those assets. Those are all restricted for use within those types. We can't use those funds to build a park or do something that's not related to those specific enterprise uses. But the good news is that our bottom line is increasing. It has to do with how we manage public funds, but a lot of that unrestricted is going to be put towards future projects, especially in the stormwater fund and also at the Ocean Park. Governmental fund balances, the one to really look at here is the restricted 33 million, and that's comprised of about 8 million in impact fees. The building permit fund, which is restricted for building permits, it's about 6 million, and then another 18 million, that's the loan funds that we got for C.W. Thomas that we will be spending, but it's currently restricted because it's for a specific use. Unassigned is 28.88 million. That's the highest reserve that we've ever had in the general fund. That is strictly the general fund itself, and that really is just a testament to the way that we've managed funds in the city and the economic conditions that we're in. We also have a rainy day fund for disaster recovery of 8.8 million. So that's like our hurricane fund. If there's some type of physical disaster in the city, those funds are specifically set aside for that purpose. In the proprietary fund, which is our utility funds and other business type funds, we've had all increases in those net position this year. We do rate studies. We ensure that the costs are covered by the revenues that we charge to the customers, and there are some impact fees available that we can use towards certain projects in those funds. We also have a pier fund, parking fund, and marina fund. We've combined those in 2024 in the budget for the Ocean Park Fund. So they're all one main economic area now, and all those resources are pooled. And we have our marina is under new management now. Our pier is going out for bid to be under new management potentially. And the parking fund is continuing to see increases as we've had just continuous patronage down at the beach and closing down the parking lot on the weekends and things like that. That means that people are paying for parking. We also have internal service funds, and these are for our facilities maintenance, our fleet management, and our information technology. These funds are set aside for those specific uses. We started these funds a few years ago to begin building up reserves so that when projects do come along, we don't have to take it from the general fund or find other ways to pay for these projects. We can just appropriate it from within those funds to replace aging assets, to add personnel if necessary, and just pay for other unforeseen costs. And that's it for my presentation. I'm going to allow Mark Grace, if we could please speak for a moment just to give you his findings officially on the record, and that'll be it for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name's Mark Grace with Citrin Cooperman. Frank did a lot of my talking for me, so he's going to make my job a little easier. Just as you can see, these statements get bigger and bigger each year. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Testament to Frank, Jamie, Adam, and the rest of the team putting it together. First and foremost, I would say the most important things as a commission that when I look at a financial statement is what's our opinion of it. We have our first opinion in the front of the financial statement. That's our auditor's opinion. We've given an unmodified opinion. It means we conducted in accordance with governmental auditing standards, all the standards that are out there related to it. What is an unmodified opinion? In layman's terms, it's a clean opinion. It's a good opinion. We go through quite a few tests. As Frank was saying, we don't look at every single transaction. We do sample selections based on dollar amounts, risk assessments that we perform during the audit. We do internal control tests. And you'll see additional reports in there that we've given no significant deficiencies, no material weaknesses related to internal controls and compliance. Like Frank said, you guys got a significant dollar amount in federal grants. So we have to do what we call a single audit, where we do a deep dive into one of the grant funds and how it's spent, and make sure that's in compliance. There was no issues related to that. If there were ever any issues, there's another report in the financial where we'd have to discuss it with the Auditor General. There was no findings to discuss with them. We've never had any disagreements with Frank and the rest of his team. Whenever we do ask for something, they provide it timely to us. It's actually a good experience when we're doing the audit. It's not like it's a really good partnership. When we ask for things, that they give it to us timely, and we have discussions. Frank will tell you that we discuss things throughout the year. So if there's anything like new coming up, because GASB and the rest of the people out there, they come up with new standards and new ways of accounting that we have to follow and incorporate into this financial statement. Frank and his team do a good job of getting ahead of that, saying like, hey, this is what we're thinking, this is how it's going to be recorded, and we can discuss it, because we don't want to come in at the very end and have to make any changes or adjustments or anything like that. But that never seems to be the case with Frank and his team. Like I said, it's a clean opinion. We had a good audit this year, and there was no findings. Just keeping it short and sweet for everybody here. But we work for you guys. We work for the commission. So if you ever have any questions right now, I'll be happy to answer any or any time in the future.
Okay, thank you very much. Frank, the only thing that stuck out to me, everything increased except the pier revenue. It went down by 300,000. I'm sure, I don't know if there's an explanation for that or whatnot, but
It's really
it just seems strange.
Yeah, it's just a matter of the pier is undergoing a major rehabilitation right now. There's a lot of costs for repairs. There's been some change orders to increase that contract as well. So it's not the revenue that went down, it's the actual net position that went down.
Oh, okay.
So the
Okay.
revenues are still tracking well. It's just that overall we're just spending a lot of money. You know, the rehabilitation out there is extremely expensive.
All right, thanks for clarifying that. Appreciate it. Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
I think we're okay. All right, let's give it up for our finance. Yep. All right, now we're gonna go into our administrative report. So we'll start with our city manager. Go ahead, Madam Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, members of the audience, guests, residents of the great city of Dania Beach, and our city team that's here today. This Saturday, we concluded 8 months of Dania After Dark that started last October. And it's been a truly fantastic opportunity for the community to come together with our elected officials, everyone's families and friends. And kudos go out to our Parks and Recreation Department, our Marketing Department, our Public Services Department, and we couldn't do it also without the support of Public Safety. There's Chief Pelisar over there and Captain Tarala. It's just been a total team effort, and we're super excited to come back in October with Oktoberfest. So thank you everyone for that. Your unanimous support by this mayor and city commission allows us to invest in necessary fleet and equipment. I have included here in my report a photo of something that you all invested in last year, and this is known as a vac truck. It's a vacuum truck. So as we prepare for rainy season, for hurricane season, and you see our teams out there in these trucks, these are actually clearing out your drains, and we're taking a multitude of proactive efforts to ensure that we mitigate any funding, and any flooding citywide. So we're very grateful for the support of our City Commission. You just heard our Chief Financial Officer present our CAFR and our position that I've included here. Our PAFR is something that we're doing for the very first time. It's included in my report, and it's basically a financial report in layman's terms. And not only is this city in the best financial position that it's ever been in the history of our city, but we are also investing a record amount of monies in storm drainage, in parks, in public safety. Everywhere you turn citywide, you can see a multitude of projects and programs. And we couldn't do it without the great efforts of our Deputy City Manager, Candido Sosa Cruz, every single one of our department directors. There's Fernando Rodriguez over there, one of our veterans in public services, our city engineer, Parks and Recreation. It's truly a renaissance here in our city. So you can expect to see more great news and more great projects. This past Friday, we began the demolition in a historic project at C.W. Thomas Park. I know that Commissioner James is very, very excited about that because this is a project that has taken some time but is coming into fruition. We're also very excited. Last month, the mayor, myself, and our finance director signed a $6 million document to take the first steps into the Southeast Drainage Project. We just got approval from Durham that has been approved by Durham. So we're looking to break ground in a historic, in excess of $30 million that we will be investing in the Southeast Drainage Project to mitigate and actually eliminate flooding in that area of our city. One of the things that we take great pride in is how we communicate, how often we communicate, and all the different types of ways that we can communicate with our community. Last year, we started out with our first ever Pioneer, the magazine that went out to every single household. This year, we're ready to go, and by next month, you will be receiving our summer edition of the Pioneer. It's really, really exciting because you can get to see where your taxpayer monies are going to in all these multitude of projects citywide. This summer, we're starting with a new program, and it's called CORE. And the program it stands for Community Outreach and Resident Engagement. This is something that I've been working with Chief Tarala and Deputy City Manager Candido Sosa Cruz and our marketing team. So we're going to be going from 6 to 7, commencing in June, and starting in different parts and different areas of our community. The manager's office, public safety, every single one of our departments is going to be out there to engage with your residents and your constituents, and just to be able to have one-on-ones, questions that you want answered, information about programs and activities. So we're very excited about that, and look out for your Pioneer because we will give you a schedule of times and the areas that we're going to be doing citywide. There's going to be 5 of these from June until October. Let me see here. I gotta say, folks, about a week ago, we get a call that they're looking to possibly close Olsen Middle School. I don't know if you know what a full court press is, but in basketball, when the team wants a ball back, it's 5 people really. I see that young men know what a full court press is. But and I know Commissioner James knows what it is, but when this city commission and this administration felt that something was going to be taken away from us, from our kids, from our students, from our teachers, immediately we took action. I know Vice Mayor Llewellyn and Commissioner Davis went to the meeting. Commissioner James and I were watching online. The next day, I had letters from Commissioner Salvino, who's a graduate of Olsen. I also had a letter that was drafted immediately by our mayor. Over the weekend, I was communicating with Eve communicating with the city clerk. I mean, nonstop in regards to everything that we did. We did not leave any stone unturned in regards to having a meeting immediately with the superintendent of schools, sending the resolution that was passed here unanimously with all the documents to every single member of our school board, our superintendent, the publications, Sun Sentinel, anyone and everyone that would hear us. The great work by Olson Middle School and the principal. And folks, let me tell you, when you act and when you're passionate about something and you fight for something that you don't want to lose, you get good results. And the decision has been made to postpone the closing of that school. But we're going to tell you, just like we watch over that Olson, we watch over Dana Beach Elementary and Collins Elementary. But we couldn't have done it without the full support of everybody here in this dais. So we just have to give them a hand. Because this doesn't happen as it happened so quickly here in this city. So I'm very grateful for that. Let anyone try to mess with our city and with our kids, and they're gonna have to go someplace else. Respectfully, I say that. It's IT Parker, ladies and gentlemen. Chiqui, I know you're here. Wait till you guys see what we're gonna turn IT Parker into. We have a planned ribbon cutting in October, and the work that has been going on there has been fantastic. The demolition is complete. They're already moving into the details of the work that they're doing there. And if you got a wedding, a baby shower, it's going to be a premier waterfront facility, and it's going to be outstanding parties. So think about it, and we will invite the entire community to this historic ribbon cutting. We're also very excited about the Nyberg Swanson House, and we're looking forward to another historic ribbon cutting. Things are moving very, very quickly and very smoothly there. And we look forward to a ribbon cutting there this coming November. It just couldn't be a better time to be part of this great city, working with this great team of elected officials and this great team that I affectionately call the A-Team. And that concludes my report. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Madam Manager. City Attorney Bootsas?
It's really hard to follow such a great report. I don't have any comments tonight except to say go Panthers.
All right, go Panthers. They're playing right now. It's a tie game, I heard. All right, City Clerk, reminders?
Yes, so you have your CRA budget workshop on May 28th at 5:30, and then following that, you have your regular commission meeting at 7 p.m. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Clerk. Okay, up for our public safety reports. We'll start with our BSO Captain, Jason Torella. Oh, we give him a round of applause. All right, come on now, Captain.
Good evening, Commissioners, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Manager. How are you?
How are you?
So we had a really busy couple weeks, so I tried to condense this to 3 really good arrests and incidents we had. So I'll start. We know we had a shooting a couple weeks ago where unfortunately a vehicle was shot at with a rifle, 223 rounds shot at a car with 4 children inside. A vague description BOLA was issued for that vehicle, and our CST team that you all know do an amazing job in this city. Based on that vague description, our CST team was able to locate a vehicle that they saw circulating the neighborhood last week. And through their investigative means, they followed the vehicle, they stopped it. They believed this was the suspect vehicle. They stopped it, they searched it. Inside the vehicle, they found 223 rounds inside the vehicle that were spent. So they automatically believed that this was the vehicle. Through their investigation, they confirmed that that was the suspect vehicle that shot at that father with the 4 kids in the car. So our violent crimes unit came out with our crime scene unit. That vehicle has now been taken. It's going to be processed fully for fingerprints and superglued for DNA and fingerprints as well. So I wanted to give you guys an update on that case because I know that was very dear to everyone here. Also, talking about some violent crime, our CST detectives were on patrol a couple weeks ago, and they were doing with illegal gatherings, and they observed a group of individuals where they thought a couple of them had firearms on them. They observed one of the individuals get inside of a vehicle. As he got inside the car, they believed he had a firearm on him. They saw it. They followed the car. They conducted a traffic stop on the vehicle. They safely approached the vehicle, and they were able to get that young man outside the vehicle safely, and very tactfully, because they knew he had a weapon on him. Once they searched him outside the vehicle, they found a loaded AK-47, what they call on the street a chopper, with one round in the chamber, 27 ready to go, tucked within his shirt in his pant pocket. So that subject was taken into custody, and that AK-47 was removed from our streets of Dania Beach. Thank God. And another one I wanted to talk about on a very good arrest we had. As we know, about a month ago, there was a story that hit the news about a fraud that was victimizing many of our residents in Dania Beach. That night it aired, the city manager called me and she wanted to update on it, and she asked what was going on with it, and she was made aware that this was involving many residents, not just one. We had multiple victims. So obviously the city manager said this was a priority, and she asked if we could do everything we could in our power to solve it. I told the city manager I was going to put my best detective on it. So I called Detective Ciccone that night and I said, Matt, I said, we got this case, which he already knew about before the media aired it, but we weren't aware that there were so many victims until Detective Ciccone started working that case. So a little synopsis of it was that an individual was renting out personal cars online without their permission, using fake addresses, fake email addresses. It began in early March and continued in May of this year, where the residents of City of Dania Beach were having complete strangers show up to their residence looking for keys of vehicles that they purchased through these online pay accounts. And obviously they would show up to this lady's house, other people's houses, looking to get this vehicle, and there was no vehicle for rent. One instance, a victim became a suspect. He ended up smashing out the windows of the car. It became very violent. So these were becoming increasingly more violent as they went on. And I'll let Detective Ciccone talk a little bit. This is the detective that took this case that night. And I can tell you right now, he worked this case day in and day in for the last month. And it was a very difficult case. Matt had nothing to go on except multiple victims from out of state, our residents. And I'll let Matt talk a little bit about how he was able to solve this case. And as of today, that subject was in custody. And I believe he's facing 13 felony counts and more to come as Matt is continuing to find more victims of this gentleman.
Commissioners, thank you for your time. City Manager, I wanted to just let you know that Captain Terrell did emphasize to me the importance of protecting the actual citizens of Dania Beach, and that was emphasized by the City Manager. That was the #1 thing. This case came about basically as one of your residents had made us aware of a situation where multiple times people were showing up at the residence in the middle of the night during the day and wanting keys to a vehicle, and their vehicles were not actually for rent. These were individual homeowners that had their vehicles parked at their residence and did nothing other than basically inside their houses. And this doesn't happen just once. This happened at one residence alone 8 times. This is one resident in Dania 8 times. Across the street, it was multiple times also. It got to the point, as the captain had said, basically that it had turned violent. At some point in time, the victim count started rising and rising. We have 2 sets of victims here, and not to go into great detail, but there were multiple warrants written, search warrants, I should say, along with subpoenas, and we followed this from the beginning to the end, and we wouldn't have been able to do this if it hadn't been for the partnership and the relationship that you have with the Broward Sheriff's Office and with Captain Terrell and the City Manager itself. So I want to thank you basically for giving us the monetary means to be able to solve these crimes and protect the citizens of Dania itself. We wouldn't have been able to do it without you. So the case itself is ongoing, and there will be more charges coming.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Matt. Changing gears, over the last 3 weeks, our homeless outreach team and our patrol deputies, we've made over 18 quality of life arrests throughout our city streets, our parks. But I did want to highlight something, because as you know, with our homeless outreach team, we always focus on reunification services, getting help. That is always the priority of our homeless outreach team and our deputies, always to offer assistance to our individuals who are in need in this community. And we had a really nice story that I wanted to share with you guys. Another one I know last month I was able to give you a really good story that Reyes was able to help with, and Spicer. We had another one this month, which was a really nice story again. So the team identified this family at the 700 block of North Federal Highway along the FEC tracks on the DOT brush line. The team contacted the occupants. It was Bria, Brandon, and their 7-year-old female child. The family came to South Florida from Virginia without a plan, without housing, without shelter, and no money. The family was staying on the tracks, and further assessment revealed that they have reached out to the task force for assistance, and they were currently waiting in line to get some help. Deputy Spicer and Reyes educated them on other resources, including reunification. However, they stated they had no friends or family that were willing to accept them and had no friends and family that had monetary means to help them. Our team provided them with their contact information, resources, in case they became interested in the future of having BSO help them. A few weeks later, Bria contacted Deputy Reyes to inquire if reunification could still be an option. Bria advised that her mother, Pamela, would take them in Virginia, but Pamela had no money to get them up there. Deputy Reyes told the family, "Don't worry, let me work on it," as he always does. He was able to reach out to the multi-agency homeless task force, and with their assistance, we were able to secure 3 Greyhound bus tickets. We were able to safely get that family and that 7-year-old child to the bus station. We got them breakfast, we got them clothes, we were able to get them to the bus station, and we were able to get them safely reunified with their grandparents and the mother up in Virginia. And we followed up the day later, and they safely made it up to Virginia, where they're reunified with the family, and hopefully this child can now have a much better life than what she was having living on the streets here by the railroad tracks. So it was a fantastic job. Just a couple keys of interest that we're always doing. We're continuing with our area checks on the Southwest 4th Avenue and the FEC corridor. We're continuing our directed patrol at Chesterbird Park, Mulkin Park, and obviously these proactive measures are aimed at maintaining public safety and deterring any other potential criminal activity. And the last thing I want to talk about is that, and I'm very proud to say this, that we had, obviously, the rabbi just was here and spoke, but we had the Passover holiday a couple weeks ago. And we have multiple religious institutions in our city, from churches, synagogues, and the Muslim center out west. And throughout all of our Passover holiday season, we did not have a single issue at any of our religious institutions. Yes. So that is amazing. And that is all I have for tonight.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you, guys.
Great report.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
All right, up next we have our other BSO leader here, our rock star, Sergio Pellicer. Hey, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner, City Manager, City staff, and the great citizens of Dania Beach. So, as you all know, our rescue trucks are fairly busy. So besides the daily maintenance that we have on our stretchers, we check them in day out. We also have a yearly maintenance, and that's what all our striker stretchers going through right now. They're getting checked out from top to bottom to make sure that when we transport a patient to the hospital, that striker stretcher will be in top shape. Last week I attended Broward County Emergency Management. We had a mock drill scenario that basically was about a mock hurricane. We went through that, multiple cities there, and got a lot of good insight. Everybody was there, learned something, and something that we'll be bringing back with the hurricane season right around the corner. We're definitely ready to go. So I know every time I come here, I talk to you about refurbishing the truck, refurbishing this and refurbishing that. So we are the first city to refurbish a rescue truck, but now we're also the first city to refurbish a fire truck. So we have basically set the tone for every other city. And when I was up there looking at doing the final inspection for our fire truck, I was told by the reps there that we set the bar for everybody to follow. And now all of a sudden, because we are the first city, everybody's coming up to look at our truck. City of Miami's going up there to look at it. Miami-Dade's going up there to look at our truck. So we have set the tone for what's going to be the future of dealing with fire trucks. So I'm very proud to say that because it's something that, thanks to you, we were able to get done. And hopefully we'll take delivery sometime then by the end of June. We're having a water event safety course this weekend. Our parks team, our police team, and our fire crews will be there. So I'm sure it'll be a good event and we'll have a good time. And with that, I just got to say one thing is it's graduation season. Everybody's graduating. I was lucky enough to attend a graduation last night. And to all the families out there watching, number one, congratulations to the family. Number two, congratulations to all the graduates out there graduating, and Godspeed on your future journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Great report. That's right. We are the first in many. Okay, I'm gonna move the agenda around, and I'm gonna go to item 10.1. Yeah. You okay, Commissioner Salvino? We can move it up? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to move up item 10.1 because I know we have some kids in the crowd. So, okay, for our first reading.
Would you like me to read the title?
Yeah, go ahead, Eve.
It's a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, approving the request made by Commissioner Marco Salvino to name the new gymnasium located at C.W. Thomas Park, located at 100 Northwest 8th Avenue in Dania Beach, as the Tamara James Gymnasium, providing for conflicts further and an effective date.
Okay, so we have some public comments on this item, and we will start with Lynette Hall. Ms. Hall, please come up and state your name and address.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Lynette Hall, and I live at 401 Southeast 3rd Street, Apartment 105, and it's Meadowbrook Lake View. And I've known Tamara for a very long time. I had the pleasure of coaching her senior year at University of Miami. I still work at the University of Miami. She represents us very well. She's a name that no matter where I go, if I say I'm from Dania, they say, oh my God, that's where Tamara James was the mayor. And I say, yes, it is. And so she's a very popular person at Miami. She's very popular in Dania. People love her. I think this would be a great honor for her to have the gymnasium named after her. I would be very proud to say that I spoke up for her, but she's a lovely person, and I'm pretty sure that her family would be very proud of her too, but I know the University of Miami would be very proud of her, and it's all about you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Hall. Up next, we have Richard Walker. Good evening, Mr. Walker. Please say your name and address.
Richard Walker, 2310 Freedom Street, Hollywood, Florida. And I'm a co-owner at 709 Fippen Road, Dania, Florida. I'd like to read something briefly that I had the opportunity to put together. And I'd like to say good evening to the mayor, vice mayor, commission, city manager, city attorney. I'd like to thank you, first of all, for the opportunity to speak. I have come to offer my support, strong support, for the proposal to name the gym at C.W. Thomas Park for an outstanding individual, Tamara James. It's hard to express how I feel about Commissioner James and all of her accomplishments on and off the basketball court. As someone who had the privilege of coaching Tamara in her youth, I witnessed firsthand her dedication, her discipline, and leadership. These were the same qualities that she carried into the career in the WNBA and later as a dedicated mayor and commissioner of Dania Beach. Naming the facility in her honor is not only a tribute to her contributions to the city, but also a source of inspiration for the young athletes and leaders for tomorrow. Tamara's legacy is a testament to perseverance, excellency, and service. This gym will stand as a reminder where those values can take you from Dania Beach to the national stage, back home again, where her heart truly lies. I'd like to leave you with something that was laid on my heart. In the book of Proverbs, 3rd chapter, and the 27th verse, it says, withhold nothing good for those in whom it's due, especially when it's in the power of your hands to act. Thank you. And Tamara, I want you to know that I love you. This community loves you and everything and all the compliments that you have done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Okay, up next we have Ricky Young. Mr. Young, name and address, please, sir.
Good evening. I am Ricky Young, that's R-I-C-K-I-E. I reside at 225 Northwest 7th Avenue, which I am a homeowner for several decades. I come to this evening to employ the city to name the gymnasium Tamara James Gymnasium. Why? Because she's not only dedicated, she is committed to this city. She is committed to one Dania, not two, one Dania. So when we as citizens, residents, and guests to come to this city and see the beautiful gymnasium that is named in her honor, they will be proud. Not only that, I'm proud because she's homegrown and she has great parents, great grandparents, come from good stock. Wherever she goes, she takes the city of Dania Beach with her. She's not a transplant, she's a homegrown. So I leave this with you guys and women's. Give me my flowers while I yet live. Once again, give me my flowers while I yet live. A person don't need to have to die to get recognition. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Okay, up next we have Chicky Brandemart. Chicky, please state your name and address. Young lady.
Chance to get up there. Good evening, Mayor Ryan. Good evening to the commissioners and vice mayor and our visionary city manager. Where the heck is Candido? Well, Candido, you too. You know that.
He's
All
back
right.
there. He's back there. There you go.
Okay. Listen, from the minute I walked in that door, all I saw was love. It's still on the tables. And who started all of this? Commissioner, you did. You did. You know when? When you put the sculpture up, everybody was asking, well, why would you do that for Valentine's Day? It wasn't for Valentine's Day. You were sending a message, weren't you? That the message was spread love. So from the minute we walked in here, I saw nothing but love. I want you to know, bring it home. Who's my echo? I ain't getting paid for this, honey, and neither are you. All right, now, what I want you to know is this. I like little children that can reminisce when they get to be somebody that's young in here's age, not mine, because you're already gone. When you get to be 88, you're in trouble. All right, but they could say, gee, she was the lady that I was in the basketball court, and it's named after her. Now, why the heck do you have to give me flowers? I'm not going to come back and thank you for them. So don't even send them when I die. And I want to tell you, while these 2 feet are on the ground, I want all of you. I want her to thank you for this opportunity of naming it after her. She is our hometown hero. That's the way I feel. She is the hometown hero. And you got to get behind you. You just have to. A lady said to me one day, "You mean the girl that gives out turkeys?" I said, "No, that's the girl that used to be the mayor. Forget the turkey. That's the mayor." But I want to thank also Mr. Wellen, because we don't get your meetings where I live in the Meadowbrooks. They're not on our TVs, and you all know about that. I used to complain about it all the time. So when she faithfully comes to our senior meeting, she brings with her about Olson. We all went, "Oh, what?" So you were already working on it, and we're just finding out about it. And I want to thank her for coming there. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. You're the first mayor that ever came to Meadowbrook to swear in a team of probably 95 and older officers. So we're thanking you now. But really and truly, a lot of people celebrate death. I don't. I'm one of the old-fashioned ones, born in 1937. I still cry, and I'll cry for you. I don't celebrate death. I cry when I lose somebody. And I'm saying to you now, somebody asked you to name that court after her. Someone used a different word. Father, what'd you use? You used something. I forgot. Anyway, I'm begging you to put that vote where it belongs. And that's back, you know, the heart you put outside? Take it from our hearts. This is what we want. Got nothing else to say except I have to go to the bathroom. Bye.
All right. Okay, Chicky gets special privilege. Not everybody go over time like that, okay?
Oh, I apologize.
I'm just joking. All right, next we have Lamise James. Come on up, Lamise James. Sorry if I said your first name wrong.
No, you didn't.
I said it right, Lamise?
Yes,
All right.
you did. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Attorney, Commissioner, City Manager. My name's Lamise James. No secret, my last name is James. This happens to be my best friend. My godson and my daughter were supposed to come up, actually, but I'm here. So just like Richard Walker, I too have something brief to say. You know, if this was a job position, Tamara James would be overqualified. The top 8 pick in 2016, South Broward and the UM alumni. Also, her jersey is retired at both respectable schools, where she led South Broward to 3 state titles, national leading scorer as a freshman at the University of Miami. Inducted into the Hall of Fame at the great University of Miami again. She is my hero. She's a true inspiration to all of us, breaking countless of barriers. She is a pillar to this community and her family. Not only as my sister, she's a godmother to my son, to my daughter, and countless of children in her city. She is one of the best community servers that I've witnessed today. Tamara is a definition of perseverance, where I have seen her overcome injuries, adversity since we were 12 years old. She is a follower of Christ and holds a slew of accolades. So the question would be, why not Tamara James? She is more deserving. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. James. Thank you, Ms. James. Up next, we have Bob Shapiro. Mr. Shapiro, good to see you again. Please state your name and address.
Thank you. All right. This is my real presentation. This is really why I'm here tonight. I'm Bob Shapiro, 21101 Northeast 38th Avenue, Aventura, Florida. 10 years ago this year, I was at a city commission meeting, and a young woman came up in citizens' comments and told us that she had been born in Dania Beach. She went to school in Dania Beach, but she couldn't play basketball in Dania Beach because there was no basketball courts in Dania Beach. There were basketball courts in Hollywood, and she became a star at South Broward High School and went on to be a star at University of Miami and a star in WNBA and a star all over the world. But here she is in Dania Beach. In 2016, and that was my first introduction to her, and she really won my heart that night. And since that night, my heart has been in Dania Beach, even though I don't live here. And I just want to tell you that when she became mayor, she and I really followed her vision and her lead in making Dania Beach a destination city and not a pastor city. Those were Tamara James's words that everybody now uses all the time. And she and I went and made presentations literally all over the town and all over the county saying that about Dania Beach. And it was her idea to do the Parks Department and do the park study. And finally, City Manager Garcia was appointed, and she commissioned the park study with the engineering firm that Tamara and I had interviewed and recommended and had seen other things that they had done. And it was clear from that moment on that that was her number one priority. And here we are 10 years later with this being a possibility. And I can tell you as an outsider, but as my heart being here, that she shouldn't have to die to have her name put on that gym. That gym belongs to her, and that she deserves it, and that the city should be proud and honored to have that gym be the Tamara James Gymnasium in Dania Beach.
Thank you, Mr. Shapiro. Up next, we have Vice Mayor Linda Hill Anderson. Hey, Vice Mayor.
Hi.
All right, just state your name and address for the record. You know the drill.
We don't have to do that. Linda Hill Anderson, 2334 Farragut Street, Hollywood, Florida. Thank you all for having me today. Thanks to the city manager, city clerk, city attorney, mayor, vice mayor, and commissioner, and one of my close friends, Tamara James. The reason why I'm here, I just got it at a short notice, so I don't have anything prepared. But I listened to everything everyone said. Why wait till the person is deceased before you put their name on a building? Tamara has not only worked in Dania, she has worked very hard in Hollywood. She gives out book bags. She has the back to school program. She is an angel in my eyesight. When I look at her, and she had my back when I was running for commissioner for the city of Hollywood. She's a darling. I would love to see her name up, and it's like in lights. I would love to see her name on that gym. And I ask you all, please, tonight vote to put her name on that gym. Tamara James, thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Okay, we have some other citizen comments on this item. It just wasn't filled out. I just want to verify. Whitney Bodie, was this your item, 10.1? Okay, please come on up. Please state your name and address, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Whitney Body, and I live at 11070
Southwest 25th Court in Miramar. So good evening, everyone. I've known Tamara for 12 years. It's a long time. We met in Israel playing basketball. We were teammates. I'll never forget the moment I met her. I heard her before I saw her. That distinct laugh, her personality, it made everyone turn and look. And she walked in like she owned the place. Tamara James had arrived. And 11-month-old Dion, he was not too far behind. So she and I are complete opposites. I remember thinking, I don't know how we'll ever be cool. But as time went on, as teammates, we got closer. We formed a bond, we became best friends. And 12 years later, we're more like family. We had several conversations back then. And at one point, I just asked her, where are you from? And she was like, she puffed her chest out. She stood up with that look that you all know. And she said, I'm from Dania. I'm from Dania Beach, Florida. I wasn't impressed. I said, where is that? Obviously, I'm not from here. I said, where is that? She said, it's South Florida. And I said, okay, so like Miami area. She puffed her chest out again. She said, no, I'm from Dania Beach. I said, okay. And I didn't realize I was opening up Pandora's box. From that moment, she gave me a whole rundown. She told me about how it's named after the Danish people, about all the details. It's the oldest city, everything. But I was listening, but I wasn't really paying attention. It wasn't until the moment that she became nostalgic. She talked about being a young girl coming from humble beginnings. She talked about going to the park with her dad, with Poochie, playing basketball, him teaching her the game. She talked about her mom being a fundraiser, helping support South Broward. She talked about her grandmother, the community, the support. She loves her city. As everyone's already said, she loves the city. And then from that point on, I knew, okay, well, it's obviously a special place. But what really did it for me was her passion to serve. She has a servant's heart. Her Tamara James Foundation, Progress in the Park, helping the kids, being able to touch someone from the youth to the seniors and everyone in between. They can call her right now and she'll be accessible to them. So we can talk about her accolades. Everyone's talked about what she's done on the court, off the court, as a politician, as a philanthropist, everything in between. But for me, what's most important is just, she's a winner. She's a winner in life. You're a winner in life. You've won the game of life. I promise you that. So whether y'all put her name on this building or not, which we know that's the right thing to do, I'm here just to advocate, standing up for what's right. You are all a team, every single one of you. You guys have a decision to make. You have a vote to make. And I pray that y'all do the right thing. Vote Tamara James.
Thank you, Ms. Vadi. We have Alexis McKnight. Are you speaking on this item? Yep. All right, come on up, Mrs. McKnight. State your name and address.
My name is Alexis McKnight. I'm from Dania, Florida. I currently live in Hollywood at 7400 Sterling Road, Hollywood, Florida. I just found out that this was a topic at 6:30 p.m. and I volunteered to come here because it was personal for me. So I just wrote something up really quick. So here goes. When I was in middle school, Tamara James was in high school. I remember going to the park for cheerleading practice and seeing her newspaper articles on the wall. I remember going to South Broward for track practice and going to MLK for workouts and seeing her pictures on the bulletin. I used to say, I want to be a champion just like her. And although I won my own couple of championships, although I have won a couple championships in my life, I can truly say Tamara James is a star in this community, and her actions have truly inspired me as a kid and even into adulthood. Till this day, I am still proud of her, and she has inspired me by the things she is doing in the community. But standing here, I can say it's not about finances or material things that she has done for the community. It's about genuine inspiration. And I am an example of a person that she has inspired. I worked hard as an athlete and as a student to make sure that I went to college. With that being said, I feel that the gym should be named after her because it is an inspiration to athletes, and she is an inspirational leader and an athlete. Not only will it inspire children from the community to be great, but it will show them that you can become something great from this neighborhood. and do awesome things. Out of all the people that the gym can be named after, it hits closer to home when it's someone you know, someone you can see. You can see their journey and you can see all that they have become. That alone is motivation in itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McKnight. We have a Denia Smith. Is this your item? 10.1. Coming up, young ladies. Please state your names and your address.
Denia Smith, 1360 Northwest.
And what's your name, dear?
Jayla Rogers.
Jayla Rogers? All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am here to tell you about why our gym should be named after WNBA player Tamara James. Tamara James is really an amazing basketball player. She played for the University of Miami and then went on to play WNBA. She was really good at scoring points and making her teammates better, but it's not just her skills on the court that make her special. Tamara James is also a great person off the court. She is a role model for young girls who want to play basketball. She helps her community by giving back and being a good leader. If our gym is named after Tamara James, it will inspire all us to work hard and be the best we can be, just like she did. It will remind us to be good teammates and to always be kind, helpful to others. So I think it would be really cool to have our gym named after Tamara James. It would be a way to honor her and all the great things she had done for basketball and for her community. Thank you for listening. Let's all cheer for Tamara James and hope that our gym can be named after her.
Thank you, girls. Great job. Up next, we have Benita McKnight. Okay, Ms. McKnight, please state your name and address.
Benita McKnight, 1360 Northwest 2nd Terrace, the beautiful Dania Beach, Florida. Good evening, everybody. I just got a few words. I ain't gonna take long. The decision to name the gym after Tamara James, a WNBA player from her hometown, holds significant merit as a local sports hero. Tamara James has undoubtedly inspired the community with her athletic powers, dedication, and commitment to excellence. By naming the gym after her, the community not only pays homage to her accomplishments, but also sends a powerful message about the value of hard work, determination, and pursuit of one's dreams. It serves as a tangible symbol of pride for our town, encouraging current and future generations to strive for greatness and to embrace the spirit of athleticism. Furthermore, Tamara James' influence as a positive role model can promote physical fitness and well-being, fostering a local youth. Overall, naming the gym after Tamara James symbolizes the celebration of local talent and the nurturing of future athletes and the promotion of community wellness.
Thank you, Ms. McKnight. Okay, up next we have Dr. Tia Major. Good evening, doctor. Please state your name and address for the record.
Tia Major, 613 Southwest 12th Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of the City Commission, and esteemed residents of Dania Beach. Today, we stand on the threshold of progress with the opportunity to honor a true servant leader whose dedication has woven the fabric of our community. Commissioner James is not just a name, but she is a beacon of hope. She is a symbol of resilience, and she is the embodiment of commitment to the betterment of our city. As an accomplished sports icon, Commissioner James has not only excelled on the court, but has also translated that passion into sustained contributions for our city. But her legacy extends far beyond the realm of sports. She is a community-focused servant leader, tirelessly working to uplift every corner of Dania Beach. It is fitting that we honor her by naming the new gymnasium after her. This is not just about recognizing her achievements, but about ensuring that her name becomes synonymous with opportunity, inclusivity, and empowerment for generations to come. Commissioner James represents the very essence of what it means to serve selflessly, to lead with compassion, and to inspire change. Let us unite in this momentous decision to honor her name and legacy on the walls of our new gymnasium as a testament to her unwavering dedication to our city and its people. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Up next, we have Tamaya Johnson. Tommy. Oh, you're speaking on citizen comments. Okay. All right. No problem. Okay, I got you. Thank you, sir. Okay. We have Ivy Cure. Well, this just came in hot off the press. And then one more.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good evening. I'm Ivy Cure, 209 Northwest 14th Court. I'm not going to speak much because everybody said everything. Everybody know the girl is great, and I don't want to get into any extras because I can get extra. So let's not hate or play a hater, whatever. You got it. That's it. I'm not going to get into that.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Cure. Okay, we have one more comment on this item, and it's a very special person. It's Mr. Dion Dowell Jr. Come on up, Dion.
Dion Dowell Jr., 255 Northwest Terma James Avenue. I want to tell you why it'll be awesome to name the new gym of C.W. Thomas Park after my mom, Tierma James. She's been the mayor of Dania Beach twice, and now she's a commissioner. My mom deserves this because she's worked super hard for our city, especially for sports and getting us a new gym. My mom is like the superhero of our town. She's always doing stuff to make it better. Plus, she's helped us out with many things that have made a big difference. She's not just my mom, she's a role model for a bunch of kids. I've seen her play basketball and win championships in Israel. And she's come back high schools, including South Broward. She's always giving back, and that's really awesome. I know my mom might not mean as much to you, but for me, the kids in this city, and my family, she's everything. She's done so much, way more than most people I know. And not one NBA or WNBA player has gave back other than my mom. She was born and raised here, and she's proud of that. So can you please say yes to naming the new gym after my mom? She deserves it. If not her, then who else deserves it? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dion. Making mom proud. Commissioner Salvino, this was your item.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mayor, residents, and all the commission. I support this item, and I sponsored it for Commissioner James. You spoke a lot about her tonight and all of her accolades, and it's all true. You know, going back as a Dania Beach resident, as long as I can, as old as I am, I've been here all my life. You know, you watch people grow up in this city, and you watch the things like, you know, she was telling Bob, we didn't have a gymnasium or in our city. They either had to play in Hollywood and go other places. And right now, because of our growth and all the great things that the commission here has done, and in the past as we're growing, we're getting a gym. And I don't know who else deserves a gym more than Dania Beach, and someone that's been raised and born in this town that you can't say has been a better basketball player that represents our city, which is Tamara James. And with her being a WNBA player and all the things that she's done between all the foundations and stuff, these young people today, it inspires them. And I feel like by putting this out there and her name on that gym, every time these kids walk in there, just like Dion said, you know, there some of the other people here, I want to be just like her. And that's what we want from our children today, to look up to somebody that has been successful and has given back to the city that she's grown up in. So I'm asking the commission, and I thank all of you for coming out today to support her. I'm asking the commission tonight to vote for this this naming of Tamara James Gym, and I hope that we have this and we can all look forward to in the future. Thank you.
Do you want to make a motion, or you want to?
I'll make an emotion. Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. We pass 10.1.
Okay, I have a motion to pass item 10.1. Commissioner Davis, do I have a second?
I have comment.
Oh, comment first? Okay. Well, we could do a motion in a second, then we could have discussion after.
Yeah.
So I have a second? Okay, now any further discussion? Go ahead, Commissioner Davis. And then I'll bring it back to you, Tamara.
All right, good evening. I echo all of your comments here this evening. I do believe in giving credit where credit is due, and Commissioner James does deserve the credit for all the accomplishments that she has achieved here in Dania Beach. The one thing that I have not heard, I was never a girls basketball fan until the last 2 years of basketball. I believe that Angel Reese and Don Staley and Caitlin Clark, they have raised the level and the visibility of girls basketball to a whole nother level. And I believe that having a representative of girls basketball who has accomplished so much here in Dania Beach is a very big deal, and we should be able to celebrate someone in our own city who has done and had those accomplishments. So kudos to you for being a representative of those of girls basketball and what girls can be. And what these young ladies said, that's what we want to do. I celebrate children all the time, and that is what I have done here tonight, and that's what I believe in, the children of our future being able to have someone to look up to in a field where they may not have been able to see someone who looks like them do what Commissioner James has done. I do have concerns, not about the dead and giving people, their flowers while they're dead. What I do have a concern is that every level of Dania Beach this far we have been elevating our level of what we do. We talk about rise and a standard of excellence, and what my concern is about this is the application process and the criteria for this. Now, I believe Commissioner James meets the standards, but I do have to put on record, because I don't want I think we need to raise our standards as far as what the criteria should be for someone who's going to have a building named after them or a facility named after them. And so with that, I looked at the application, and I have suggestions that I want to bring forward that I think need to be raised for future people who might want something named after them, themselves, their family members, and I want to put that on the record. So when I looked at Commissioner Salvino's application, we looked at the first part. It says a person who's making a significant contribution. I believe that Commissioner James did make a significant contribution, but those words alone, the terminology within the application is very vague for a period of years. How many years? So I want to look at how we are generalizing the application. It says there must be support from the community. Obviously, we have support from the community, but how much support? That's vague because that obviously doesn't apply to her, but it could apply to somebody else in a different case. So what I want to do is make sure that we have specific criteria and not generalized criteria when we look at naming a building, which is very significant to the city of Dania Beach. While Commissioner James may meet that criteria, that doesn't mean that people going forward in the future would meet that same criteria. We also have the $23 million invested into the C.W. Thomas Park, and I'm not sure what the additional cost would be for naming a gym after someone who does, I believe, deserve that, but I think we need to have transparency in what those costs would be. So with that, those are my initial comments. There's something that I'm missing because I can't find the paper, but overall, I just think that we need to have specific criteria. We have specific criteria for a proclamation, who can and cannot receive a proclamation, what does and does not constitute a proclamation. We have specific criteria for a key to the city, what does and does not constitute a key to the city. So what I want to do is make sure that we're consistent in having a high standard for everyone, because I just want to make sure that while someone may deserve it and may meet this criteria this evening, that we raise our standards in what that means for people in going forward, and that we're consistent with keeping a high level of criteria for the city. So those are my comments and those are my discussion for right now.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner James?
Yes, thank you. So I appreciate each and every one of you all for coming out. If you spoke, if you showed up for support, I am the standard. I really don't do this often. I don't toot my own horn. But when we're talking about standards, when we're talking about excellence, when we're talking about raising it, if you raise it any further, you won't have a building named after anyone for years. And so I'm going to turn the focus back on to the item that's at hand, and not future policy, not previous policy, but what is here in front of us. What is here in front of us was a beautiful presentation in the past that Commissioner Salvino made. I'm not going to speak on accolades because you all have done a beautiful job at that. I will speak on what it means to grow up in a neighborhood and in a city where you can't get pizza delivered to you. I'm going to speak about a neighborhood where duplexes have to be turned into substations. I'm going to speak about neighborhoods where we walk to and from school and see prostitution, drugs, murders, police chases, and everything else. I'm going to speak to you about coming from an unforgiving community where many of my own classmates are either dead or in jail. I'm going to speak to you about that because there's not a lot of hope in those types of communities. There's not anyone. I've lived close to NFL players in this city. There's not people who come and give back their time, their monies, and they're millionaires. I could have settled down any place in the world because I've traveled the world. And I decided to come back and make a difference and change where I'm from. I am a solution. I am a solution-oriented person. And I can tell you this, it doesn't matter if I don't like you up here, if we don't get along, if we don't go out to drink coffee or tea. If you bring something forward and it's deserving, I'm going to support it because that's the right thing to do. So we put everything else on the record of the processes of the concerns that were just brought up just now, and that's fine. But I will not let anyone dim my light. I will not let anyone silence who I am and the things that I have done. I have sat here on this dais and I have given my all. I have sacrificed relationships. I have sacrificed friendships. I have sacrificed being with my family, all in the sake for other people. People who don't like me. People who have labeled me a thug in a skirt. People who don't like me just because of the color of my skin. And some people who have the color of my skin that still don't like me. And so I am not going to sit here and try and beg anyone for a vote because God got me. That's first and foremost. He got me. What I am going to do is ask you all, as my colleagues, to take your personal feelings out of this decision and do what is the right thing to do. There will not be another application for another individual that is more deserving of my name going on that building other than the person that is talking right now. I have raised with my organization over hundreds of thousands of dollars for this community, not for me, for other people. My cell phone number is on the website. I get calls from residents all day and all night. I have been through the worst of the worst in this community. And the very least you can do is give people their honor while they are here, to enjoy it and to accept it and to inspire other people. And so I thank you all, near and far, the people who are watching online, the people who have the love of God in their heart, and the people who can get past personal differences to still do what is right and what we should be doing as professionals for this city. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Commissioner James. It's been an honor to serve with you for the last, year and a half, and it's been nice to really get to know you. I didn't know you when you first came up on the dais, but I definitely knew who you were. And it's been really nice to get to know you, and I appreciate your competitive spirit, and that's where we kind of really got to know each other. And right away, you knew the type of person that you were. You care about the community, and you give back. And that's saying a lot, especially for someone who is as popular as you, and as qualified as you, and as talented as you. And I always say avoid redundancy up here. And we had about 13 people speak, and I didn't hear anything that was redundant. That shows you the amount of accomplishments that you've achieved throughout your young life too. You're not even 40 years old yet, so there's still a lot. There's still a lot to go, and there's a lot more to give back. Right? You know that. And just wanted to say it's an honor to be on this commission, be the chair of this commission. During this time, and to make this decision. So with that, I'll call. We have a motion from. You want to speak? Okay. Okay. We have a motion from Commissioner Salvino, and we have a second from Commissioner Davis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right. Motion. Item 10.1 passes unanimously. Congratulations, Tamara. Good job. Congratulations. I wanted to keep you guys all for the end, but if there was no kids in the crowd, you would stay. All right, yeah. We should just take like a 2-minute recess. Okay, we're gonna take like a 2-minute recess, everybody. Oh, thanks, GD. Hey, I'm gonna go fishing in that lake tonight. Taking off? Still got time, man. We didn't even accomplish any business yet. It's all right, yeah. I can make it exciting. Anything can happen. Scoring last. That's awesome.
No, I don't. I'm gonna shoot them if I feel like it's hey, you just I'm gonna say it, but I'm not appreciate it. No, we got a recess because everybody got a pee. I really wanted them to be quite productive. I said I
I'm embarrassing myself advocating, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, everybody. We're going to end this little recess here in about 30 seconds when I get all my commissioners back up here.
That was the dumbest thing in the world. All right. Hello. Hello, Mayor.
Yes, all right, cancel. Good thing that wasn't on. Okay, recess is over. She's coming. All right, we are on item 7. This is citizen comments. So we will start with Tommy Johnson. Come on up, sir. Please state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name is Tommy Johnson. Yeah, I'm at 3801 Southwest 52nd Street, Fort Lauderdale, or Hollywood, down Griffin Road. Sorry about that. So, the reason why I'm here is to request recognition for my mother. She used to work for the city of Dania. She worked here 25 years. And I wrote a little speech. She passed away 2 years ago. And I'm going to just hit you with this really quick. It says, Pick and Pay, Grand Prix, Jackson's, Dania Highlight, Woody Store, Pirate Inn, Rexall. If you're familiar with these Dania landmarks, then you've been around for some time. My mother's been a part of Dania fabric in a few of these locations, moreover, more than many. She was raised right here in Dania on third place along with her siblings. Starting from this perspective in life, she gained the opportunity to witness as well as grow with Dania to now Dania Beach. She was even delighted to see Dania Point as it birthed. Before my mother began working with the city, she probably drove truck at Weekly Asphalt for a living. Why did she pursue this as this male-dominated career? The answer was clear. She was a strong and independent female who with 2 children, my sister and I. So it was the salary which provided for our family that motivated her. Women also, to this degree today still do not garner equal pay compared to men. Holding her own, she broke the norm that day. In 1984, Dania would gain a true professional. Our mother was educated, formal, informal, funny, likable, and communicated effectively to any person in her presence. Public Works is where she began her journey with the city. It was there she learned very quickly how to deal with strong personalities. A few service years later, in Public Works, she transferred to the position of quote-unquote custodian, where she was the person that oversaw both cemeteries. This position had only been filled by men up until then. These prime men, I am certain, possessed some qualities that were applicable for the job, although each one failed. The failures these men caused embarrassments in addition to lawsuits to the city. Dania faced a difficult period of losing the community's confidence in properly functioning as it pertains to the cemeteries. With our mother's arrival as the overseer, quote unquote, of the cemeteries, Dania gained immediate credibility. She resolved hundreds.
I'll give you some time, sir. Go ahead. You can finish.
She resolved hundreds, if not thousands, of issues herself with fellow residents that the city hall will never know. She advocated on behalf of the city of Sergeant residents, vice versa, to both stress, to solve both for stress. For example, in the burial process. I'm not wearing my glasses. Yeah. That's why I'm struggling with this. Forgive me. She advocated on behalf of the city of Sergeant residents, vice versa, to save both from stress, for example, with the burial process in that delicate time. In addition, she worked with the communities Hollywood, Hollandale, Fort Lauderdale, and others. Funeral home directors and vault representatives from around the surrounding counties, they are familiar with her name. It would be a challenge to find a pastor from this area not familiar with her, with the woman that oversaw the cemeteries in Dania Beach. She was the first woman, quote unquote, custodian to oversee Dania's cemeteries. Her impression is truly hard to deny. Our mother went above and beyond to assist each and every person that entered Dania Beach Cemetery. The tent was set up, the chairs were lined for families, water was on ice. She was always available if you needed. Year in and year out, the cemeteries reflected that they were genuinely tended, and no one dared tamper with either area cemetery because of who she was. She paid close attention to special events or holidays. No instructions needed. She performed any tasks related to the cemetery, many times performing multiple tasks unassisted. In her 25 years of service, there were no major incidents or legal liabilities that occurred. The title, quote unquote, custodian, in my view, just doesn't seem suitable. Albert Jones, Bobby Grace, Robert Chun, I'm glad I got my glasses, I'm rolling now. Robert Chun, along with you today, left and continue to leave impressions on the lives of the residents of Dania Beach. How do you leave this mark? By doing what is in the best interest of the people, to your community. I surmise that the former elected mayors did in their time in office. They all knew my mother. She saw them come, then depart out of politics. Meanwhile, she paced forward, serving the residents of Dania Beach, as well as others. In summation, our mother was a loyal resident that brought her professionalism, among other skills, came from a working male-dominated field, transitioned, maintained 2 large cemeteries without major incident, and collaborated and coordinated with businesses and communities while keeping herself and the city of Dania Beach in the highest esteem. It is my request that she be honored for her service to Dania/Dania Beach, because it was Dania before it became Dania Beach, by placing her name on the cemetery building, street sign, or park. Sincerely yours, Tommy and Sharonda Johnson. Now, I know I kind of read that. My words are better. I mean, I could just kind of ad-lib.
You're 4 minutes over comment. Please be brief.
I apologize.
What's the name of your mother, first and foremost?
Her name is Joanne Johnson.
What's the name of your mother?
Her name is Joanne Johnson.
Joanna Johnson?
Joanne Johnson.
Joanne. Joanne.
That's correct.
All right,
Joanne Johnson. So, I'm not knocking anybody, full stop, for being accoladed. But before you got here, there were other commissioners, there were other, and I'll highlight that, there were other mayors here. One just walked out of here. And I believe, right, it's not about, so one against the other. If you don't have any criteria, if you say she had to be working for the city of Dania for 10 years, I would have been like, okay, my mom's not in this criteria. But I'm here now because she did that service. And everybody in their mind think they should have a street named after them or a building or whatever. And they're going to come to you. And if you push back, if you don't have that standard for somebody, okay, I haven't been working for the city, then you're going to have me get mad with you because my mom, I believe, she saved you guys, the city of Dania Beach, a lot of money. a lot of money. And she worked with funeral directors, and I can go on and on, but I'm not knocking you. But I know Albert Jones, he also was a man. He did some stuff, but not when he was in office, when he was out of office too. Robert Chun, he also did things. And I ain't saying they better than my mom. But I ain't saying she better with you. But I want more people to be in there. But if there is criteria, then I won't get in there. I would not get in there. But if you blow me off, then I know that you bogus.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I appreciate your comments. All right, up next, we have Bob Adams. And please, let's keep it within 3 minutes. Bob Adams, gone? Okay, Bob's not here. Mike Sarton. Please state your name and address. You have 3 minutes.
Mike Sarton, 746 Southwest 3rd Street in Dania Beach. Good evening, all. It's a hard act to follow. I knew his mother. I just found out that she died. But we're all... What?
Please, hey. That's a first warning, sir. Go ahead, Mike.
But I'm going to address an opportunities for revenue for Dania Beach. And I'm going to recite something that you've all heard once or twice before. The best predictor of future performance is past behavior. And without telling any jokes about plagiarism, I'm just going to read from IFAS's website and do what I used to do for the school board and teach a little environmental science. Humans first reached Florida 12,000 years ago and have been living with its constantly shifting landscape since. Practices such as urban development, mining, coastal engineering, agriculture, water diversion and extraction, and forestry present new ways in which Florida's landscapes are formed and reworked. When humans entered into the Florida landscape, sea level was substantially lower. That means there was more land. Sea level has risen for the past 12,000 years to its modern position. Today, as climate warming accelerates, sea levels will continue to rise, and the coast of Florida is expected to retreat inland further. And he cites Church and from the IPSA. Florida is composed of 5 ridges. We are lucky enough in Dania Beach to have the very end of the Atlantic Coastal Ridge. Flagler knew what he was talking about. When his engineers knew the cheapest way to lay train tracks is to lay train tracks on high ground. And you can follow the FEC corridor right down to Eau, and by the time you get to Eau, Atlantic Coastal Ridge peters out. You're going to have to deal with sea level rise, or you're going to be selling swampland and paving paradise.
Thank you, Mr. Sarton. Appreciate your comments. Up next, we have Robert Bruce. Robert Bruce going once, going twice, sold. Okay, we have next Sherry Pitts. Sherry? Going once, going twice? All right. She wanted to educate herself on what's going on with the schools. Schools are staying open. All right. So, next we have our consent agenda. Wow. Are there any items that the commission would like to remove from the consent agenda? Commissioner James.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
If I can, I just would like to pull item number 11 relating to the CRA. I'd like to revise that item to reflect what the action of the CRA and bring it to the next meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of the CRA item point 11.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
And I have a second to approve the consent agenda with the exception of removing item 11. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay. All right, motion passes. Okay. right, let's go to item 10.2 in our quasi judicial hearings. Oh no, not even. Item 11.1, our first reading. Go ahead, Eve. 11.1.
An ordinance of the City Commission amending Chapter 8 of the Land Development Regulations, Article 275, Landscape Requirement, at Section 275-195, entitled Artificial Turf Installation, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and effective date. This is community development. First reading.
Good evening. Corinne LaJoy, Deputy Director of Community Development. This is first reading of a text amendment to allow artificial turf into our regulations. This request is to establish artificial turf regulations in the Land Development Code. Currently, our code does not identify the use of turf as a material. So some recent flooding has led to intensification of enforcement of our regulations with regards to pervious area and maintenance of landscaping. Residents frequently inquire about alternatives to the grass to fulfill pervious area requirements due to the high maintenance and vulnerability of the grass or live material. Several municipalities in our local area, Plantation, Cooper City, and Hollywood are just examples, have successfully addressed the issue by including artificial turf as a pervious option in the land development regulations. Currently, our landscape portion of the code identified or titled Plant Material and Installation Requirements currently lacks regulation regarding the use of artificial turf. The purpose of the proposed amendment is to acknowledge artificial turf as a suitable alternate to traditional landscape material and to allow artificial turf to count towards pervious area requirements, providing a new material option in the Land Development Code. So the artificial turf of today does have a permeability quality to it, so that allows for pervious areas to be maintained on properties. Building permit would be required with the use of artificial turf, which is one of the reasons why we're incorporating these regulations, so we have a way to monitor and regulate it. The artificial turf must replicate a common species found in our region. The new total pervious and impervious calculations to include artificial turf and pervious area shall be submitted as part of the application package, so we maintain the minimum pervious area per site. And installations are not permitted under tree canopies or within drip lines, and we also identify setbacks, so it can't go to the property line either. Like I just said, we do have setback requirements of a 2-foot setback from the property lines. Artificial turf, we also have setbacks from artificial water bodies. Turf is applicable in all installations regarding timing or permits, and must be replaced if it starts showing signs of aging or decaying or fading. So this is what the regulations are intended to result. So you can see it doesn't go all the way to the edge. It does have a setback, but it does allow for it to be incorporated as part of the landscaping on a property. The owners must maintain the turf according to the city standards to avoid violations. Turf must be lead-free, use recycled plant-derived material. It requires a subgrade suitable for drainage and compaction that allows the permeability to be maintained on the property. This is a text amendment. We're incorporating these regulations into our Land Development Code, so it does require 2 readings. The application did go before the Planning and Zoning Board in March. Another thing we didn't include in the presentation is we brought these regulations through our landscape consultant, and he reviewed it and made some edits to it, which have been incorporated into the regulations. And at this time, staff's recommending approval on first reading. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
With the artificial turf fields, they last about 10 years?
That's approximately.
More or less?
Right.
Okay.
Right. It depends on circumstance and
And
location.
the cost of it is kind of similar if you have a real turf field, correct? When it comes to maintenance?
I don't
Yeah.
actually know.
All right, I was just, okay. No worries, no worries.
Right, and so I mean, the regulations that we're incorporating is envisioned, I mean, it could be used on a large scale, but we're envisioning it on small scale as well, like residential properties.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner James?
Yes, I had a question, but you answered it with the maintenance, but that is my largest concern, especially when it comes down to like smaller scale development with homes and apartments. to not have it look overrun
Right.
very quickly, and so, but you seem to address that. So if there is no public comment, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, Commissioner Salvino, go ahead.
Yeah, Corinne, can you go back on the screen? I had a couple questions. Actually, really one or two. But slow down. One more before this, I think. No, go one more back, please. I think this might be it. Yeah, let's see, installations are not permitted under tree. So it says installations are not permitted under tree canopies or within the drip line of any existing tree canopy. What is a drip line?
The drip line of a tree is the canopy of the tree. That's the drip line
Where the
of
rain
tree.
drips off of it.
Right.
So if you have a tree in your backyard that's one of those older trees that has a 15-foot canopy, you're trying to tell me you can't put artificial turf underneath it? So I just saw in your picture there that under the canopy, and one of the last ones, you had the artificial turf under the drip line.
The way the regulations are written, the turf could not come closer to the tree trunk than the drip line.
Okay, I don't agree with that.
Well, go to the photo.
I think that what you're asking for, you're asking for somebody to put artificial turf in a yard that has a tree, that has a 10-foot tree with a 5-foot drip line on each side. It's a 10-foot tree. You're telling them that they can't put the artificial turf up to at least maybe 3 feet, maybe put some kind of like mulch around it. But you're telling them you can't put it out there, so you're telling them that they have to have a 10-foot or 15-foot,
Right.
Mulch line around. I don't think that's right.
Okay. We'll revisit that with our landscape consultant,
Okay.
and we'll bring it back.
Does that sound like a fair question?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Because the larger the tree, the larger the drip
Right,
line. Then.
and I saw that. And then I saw that you go to your last page. You can even see on your rendering. Your rendering showed the drip line over the tree, over the grass. See on that one there, the tree's hanging over.
Yeah,
That's a shadow.
I know it's not a shadow.
No, the tree's leaning. The trees.
Are you talking about the tree on this side
The big
by
tree,
the wall?
yeah, the big tree.
You're right. Okay.
Okay, the wall.
Right.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, it was contradicting, and
Mm-hmm.
I think the drip line. I mean, see now I'm okay with that picture because
Right.
it goes up to the tree. If the tree hangs over,
Like, is that even a picture in Dania? Or is just like
No.
it's just like it's a stock picture.
Pardon me?
It's just a stock picture. It's not like
I understand that, Mayor.
Mayor.
I'm not talking about the picture. I'm just showing her that the drip
Right.
line is
Yeah.
over that. But if you took that right now and you use that picture and you
Mm-hmm.
took the artificial turf back, that artificial turf would be back 5 feet off that base of that tree. I'm just using it as a base of showing her what I'm talking about
Well,
the drip line.
so you got this
Yeah.
from an example of looking at other codes in other cities.
Right.
I would say that it seems reasonable why they wouldn't want that, because like say you have a mango tree and you have a bunch of artificial turf underneath it, then the mangoes just fall on the turf and rot, as opposed to going into the actual grass.
Yeah, I was
and,
going to
and
ask
absorbing.
for the
Yeah,
reasoning.
so that's why I would agree with that recommendation.
Well, our concern originally was for the protection of the tree. We didn't want to harm the tree, but we'll go back to our landscape consultant and see his
Yeah,
opinion.
well, tell me why it'll harm the tree. Maybe I'll understand at that point. But I understand. I don't understand, but I'd like to know. But I mean, I like the way the picture looks. You know what I'm saying? And it looks good, but it just wouldn't look good if that was all about.
Right.
That's
Okay.
just a comment I have to make. Maybe we can readjust
Yeah,
that.
we'll
Okay.
look at that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, great. Any other comment?
No.
No. All right.
You gotta wait a second.
Yes, this is a public hearing. Please state your name and address.
Sean DeRosa, 408 Southeast 5th Street. Commissioner Salvino, I concur with you. I absolutely 100% agree with you. When I inquired with regards to artificial turf over the last several years, at that time I have emails that I don't believe permits were even required. So I would like to see if we're going to get clarification, or the folks that put in artificial turf going to be grandfathered in. Then another question that popped up is why are they asking for a 2-foot setback? Some folks want to put artificial turf on the interior sides of their home that don't receive a lot of sun, and those areas typically die and don't look great. So why not be forgiving with regards to that setback requirement? Do you want to see a lot of rock strips going out in the front yard and a lot of rock strips going out the rear yard? I think I'd like to get clarification on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rosa. Okay, yeah, so we're going to revisit this item. So, right.
Yeah,
It's going to come for second reading. Go ahead.
I was going to second the motion.
All right, I have a motion and I have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, motion passes. Okay, now we're going to second reading ordinances. Item 12.1, Eve.
An ordinance of the City Commission amending Chapter 21, Sales and Auctions, Article 3, Garage Sales at Section 21-44, Information to be filed, to remove reference to filing information with the city clerk and replacing the reference with code compliance, conflicts, codification, and effective date. Very quickly, you've heard this on first reading. Basically, our process is that all of the applications for garage sales go to code compliance, so we're changing our code to reflect what our practice is. There is a public hearing.
This is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak on this item?
Make a motion to approve.
Seeing none, I have a motion to approve from Vice Mayor Llewellyn. Commissioner James, I have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay. All right, motion passes. That's the fastest one. Okay, now we're going to go on to item 12.2.
An ordinance of the City Commission amending Chapter 17 Offenses Miscellaneous at Article 4 Noise, amending Section 17-80 Definitions to be consistent with newly issued case law, providing for codification, severability, and effective date. This is my item. There is a substitute ordinance on the dais, and that's because I did a Scrivener's error. When I was copying the last version of the ordinance, we had struck some language about timetables, and I didn't strike it. I included that language that was stricken in this ordinance. Regardless of that Scrivener's error, the only change to the ordinance that is happening tonight is that there's some case law from Miami Beach where we took related to radios, TV, and phonographs. And that language was found to be unconstitutional by a court in Dade County. So it said that you have a standard, it's a time standard, you have a distance standard. That is what you should be sticking to and not create an additional standard for radios and TVs. So by striking this language, we're consistent with the actions of the court. And let me be clear, because I think there's some confusion out there. This body has ruled that between 11 a.m. and 7 a.m. from the property line, thank you, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. from the property line, it's a quiet zone. There is to be no noise. You will get a violation from code compliance through the police department at those times if there's any sound heard from the property line. The rest of the time, which is after 7:01 forward until 10:59 at night, it's the 100-foot distance. If the noise can be heard from the 100-foot distance, it is a violation from the property line of our code. It is a violation of our code at the 100 feet. Our police officers have been trained on on that draft of the ordinance. The officers have also been given the measure, the wheel that measures the 100 feet, so they can do that during the day up to, like I said, 10:59. From 11 to 7 a.m., it is property line. I don't know how much more I can make that clear.
All right. Thank you, Eve. This is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak on this item? I have one request. Mr. DeRosa, please come up. Yeah, just bring him to the clerk, Mr. DeRosa. Thank you.
Good evening, Sean DeRosa, 408 Southeast 5th Street. We're coming up on 6 months since December, where the noise ordinance was amended to remove our property lines as the marker, and I wanted just to provide an update. There are some issues popping up as recently as last week. where the police officers are not able to make a valid report with regards to how long the distance is where they're hearing the noise from. And this is coming from the middle of the road. During the December meeting, I had retained a professor, a sound engineer for FIU, and he had shared during that meeting that 100 feet was a flawed extreme method to have within a noise ordinance to measure in a residential community for radio speaker noise and partying tone of voice noise. That being said, with the amendment with regards to the language that's being stricken tonight, it's been taken from a recent opinion coming out of an appellate court in Miami Beach. And coincidentally, both the affirming and dissenting judges cite a 2012 Florida Supreme Court case where 25 feet was found to be constitutional. And when we were having the debate and the concern over removing our property lines as the marker, you heard from residents who did not want to have their property line removed as a marker because 100 feet would very likely create more noise. There wasn't one resident who came to both public meetings that said they wished to have their property line removed as a marker. That being said, our city attorney and city management never shared with us this prior Florida Supreme Court case from 2012, which has stood the test of time the last 12 years and is presently being cited in Miami Beach again for an appellate hearing. I think this lends credence to revisiting Commissioner James's outstanding compromise motion at the December meeting where she suggested we compromise at 50 feet. It would allow our police officers to do their job, and one of the reasons we wanted to make a change to the noise ordinance was to help the police officers stay safe, not have to enter everyone's property. And it seems like putting 100 feet, it kind of contradicts that because you're forcing police officers to go into neighboring properties. And they presently can't say whether, if they hear noise from the roadway, that won't be accepted by the code manager. I see my time's up. I don't know if I can continue, Mayor.
I'll give you 25 more seconds, 30 more seconds.
Okay, so with the spirit and intent
Giving everybody time.
to help our police officers, and knowing that our assistant city manager had shared with us the majority of our property lots are 40 to 50 feet wide in the city of Dania. If we want to keep our police officers to be able to make decisions from the roadway or on the impacted property owner's property without having to go into another property, that lends credence to giving Commissioner James's 50-foot motion further consideration. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. DeRosa. Any other citizen comments? Okay, seeing none. Did you put pressure?
Somebody before me.
It's not working. Okay.
I thought there was somebody before me.
Oh, okay.
I was going to make a motion.
Commissioner Salvino?
Well, this is a second reading, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know, I mean, I don't know, city attorney. I mean, is this stuff valid? I mean, are we contradicting anything? I'm just
No.
curious.
We're not contradicting anything. There are different codes in different places. Now, you have a code that has, from the property line, 0 noise. So it's stronger than the 25 feet he's talking about. And that's from 11 to 7 a.m. During the day, you're doing it 100 feet because I would think, I mean, I can't read your minds, but I think the idea and the concept of Miami Beach and other places that have done the 100 feet is there's a little bit more noise during the day. There are people living in their properties. So I don't see 100 feet as unreasonable, but that's up to you to decide. If you want to change it later on, because that's not part of tonight's ordinance, you certainly can look at it to do so. The only person we're hearing from tonight is one person who has wanted it from the property line since the beginning.
Yeah, but we also had that comment brought up from you before. Was that correct? I mean, from one of the commission, I'm, you know, I just want to do what's right, you know, for the residents in the commission that we're listening to and I think more or less understand it. Because, I mean, I understand that 1 second, you know, it's, you know, we're hearing that we changing the ordinance from, whatever it used to be. I was so confused from the property line, and then there's a certain time from 11 to 7, and then at 11 to 7 there's no noise, and then after 7 to 10:59 or whatever it is.
It's the 100 feet.
Right, it's 100 feet. But then, you know, then I mean, I don't know what I mean, then he says that I'm just listening.
The only thing I can recommend is, you said 6 months, so let us bring back to you the report from staff
Okay.
on their findings.
Okay.
And I guess if it's next month, whenever the 6 month period is over, it's probably next month. If it's not,
Okay,
you know,
can I
and
ask
you
a question?
decide.
If we find that if this presents a problem with this new ordinance, does it have to wait 6 months?
no,
Okay.
you can change it.
Okay, I know we've done a lot of work and done due diligence. I know that Mr. DeRosa's done a lot of work in due diligence. I think I like to, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna stop what we've already started and worked on, but I will follow up with this a little bit more and try to understand it to satisfy, you know, my understanding as much as his or yours or whatever. And I know that Commissioner James had brought up, I'm just a little confused on it, and but I'm not gonna ask, you know, and staff I know has worked hard on it too, so I'm not gonna, I'm a little bit, I guess, a little bit conflicting on the ordinances right now, but I'm not gonna stop what we've started but I am gonna review it harder with everybody.
So the action for tonight is not going to affect the property line or not the property line. That's not the issue tonight. It's just striking language that was found unconstitutional from another city.
Okay.
So that's all we're doing, is we're making it that
all right,
part
Yeah,
constitutional.
we'll have a meeting on all that.
Absolutely, and we can bring you all the information. If you want to change it, that's up to you.
Okay.
If I may, through the mayor, we'll bring you a June report. I brought you in March, a report for all of February. And there were 4 cases.
This is a big improvement.
3 out of 4 was the same place.
Okay.
In regards to noise. What we'll do is bring you one now in June next month.
Okay, well, I have questions on that as well, so I'll bring that up at a different time.
Okay, absolutely.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you. I just want to reiterate, just so everybody's clear. You did say this amendment has nothing to do with the property line or the number of feet. And in fact, that court where this was recently challenged found the 100 feet to be constitutional.
I'm not addressing the 100 feet.
Okay.
I'm not addressing the 100 feet.
They didn't have an issue with it being
No,
unconstitutional.
they did not.
Okay. That's the most important thing, is that they did not find it to be unconstitutional.
That is correct.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Commissioner James?
Yes, I'm still gonna speak on this, although it's not regarding the property line, since we're talking about it. It's a balance that I don't have the answer to be honest with you. I understand wanting peace in your home. I understand what you're going through. A lot of times I think you're dealing with, you guys have contention between neighbors. And that's not all over the city. But I do want to make sure that whatever we put in place, someone isn't getting a violation because they're mowing their lawn, because lawnmowers can be noisy, or they're doing certain work to their homes because that can be noisy. And so whatever the balance that we find, we have to find a fair balance for all parties involved, because we can't do no noise. Like my son could be outside playing basketball and get a violation because him and his friends are playing basketball outside, and you could hear him 2 houses over. And so I don't know what the compromise is. I don't know what the balance is. And I know this is a incredibly challenging task for staff, and it's incredibly challenging for you, Mr. DeRosa, as a property owner. But I do want to come together for something that I'm going to challenge you, Mr. DeRosa, to come up with a solution that makes sense and provides a balance for everyone. You know, this solution with 25 feet or 50 feet or whatever it is, it provides a solution to you and to a lot of other people. But what about kids who make noise in different situations? No, not we could talk about it later, but this is just my thoughts when I'm listening to this. I want to find an appropriate balance for everyone, because different neighborhoods have different level of what they feel is reasonable noise, and they have families, and they have scooters, and they have things that make noise. And so I don't want to get into a point to where BSO is called out and they're giving fines to kids being kids because that's the code and they're doing their job and they're following the code. And our code officers are in situations to where, you know, something that we would feel is reasonable, but by code it's a violation. So I want us to be careful, but I want us to come up with something that fits all parties. Thank you.
Commissioner James, if I may, through the mayor, we keep track of the type of noises. And I would say, what we didn't have before, and I gotta thank Commissioner Salvino, because it wasn't my idea, it was his, that 7 days a week, 11 to 7, is something that has helped tremendously here in our city. That was my idea. But there is life also going on in the city. So we're tracking, and come next month, we'll give you a full report of the 6 months from December 10th to present.
Come on up, Sean, Mr. Rosa. I'll give you another 30 seconds.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I'm very generous tonight. Doesn't matter.
What we shared at the original December meeting is that children playing in the yard and children playing in the street and children playing in the pool should be placed on the exemption list. So there should be no problem. This has never, ever been an issue about children at play. This has been an issue about adults being very disrespectful to their neighbors, blasting their radio speakers, or having large parties at their house, creating parking violations. So I can assure you, everyone who came to speak that night said, put the children playing in the yard, playing in the street, playing in the pool, place them on an exemption list. And there is a list of exemptions within the ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeRosa. Thank you for keeping that brief.
Okay.
Commissioner James?
I make a motion to approve the item.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the item. Commissioner Davis?
I second it, but I just wanted to make sure that this is on the agenda for, did you say, for June?
For the first 6 months.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
I have a motion and a second. Yeah, I think that since we've changed this ordinance, it's been very beneficial to our city and to our code and to our police officers. Nothing's going to be perfect, especially when it comes to noise. But I said this back in December. I think we are a good example for other cities to follow, if you ask me. So yeah, this is it's a small. What is this, Eve? It's just a small correction, right? It is oversight.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right. Motion passes. Thank you. All right. Item 12.3.
An ordinance of the City Commission providing for the submission to the electors of proposed amendments to the city charter pursuant to Section 166.03 of the Florida statutes following the City Commission review and consideration of charter amendments recommended by the Charter Review Board in accordance with Part 1, Article 2, Section 3 of the Charter. Submitting the proposed charter amendments concerning a call for a special election of the proposed amendments to be held on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, in conjunction with the general election being held on such date, providing for requisite ballot language, providing for procedures for balloting, notice, related matters, providing for conflict, severability, inclusion in the charter, and an effective date. So this is second reading, so once you approve this item, it will be placed on the ballot as a special election for those questions. Since you received this on first reading, I did send everyone an email, including to the Charter Review Board, that I was continuing my due diligence, and I found that a 2-year requirement to be a resident of the city is unconstitutional in the state of Florida. They will allow a 1 year, which is what we have currently, so that one ballot question has been stricken. Other than that, no changes have been made.
Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak on this item? Vice Mayor?
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner James. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay. All right, motion passes unanimously. Item 12.4, please, Eve.
An ordinance of the City Commission amending Chapter 8 of the Land Development Code, Part 5, Signage and Design Regulations, at Article 505, Sign Regulations, to update the city's signage code to comply with Florida and U.S. law, to provide technical updates to the code, codification, conflict, severability, and effective date, community development. You asked for one edit, and I believe that staff has done that edit relating to the temporary signs.
Yes, that's correct. Hi, good evening. So this is second reading of the sign, the sign text amendment. And since second reading, we did address the concerns that was raised by the commission at the first reading. And we've changed the temporary non-commercial signs, which is the category political signs fall into. And we changed that, the allowance from 15 feet to 5 square feet per street frontage. This results in 8 total square foot for political signage per street frontage on residential properties. That's what exists today in the code, so we pushed it back to where it is today. I can go through the rest of the presentation if you like.
Okay, yeah, so basically nothing changed. When
That
it
was
comes to
only
the non-commercial
provision.
political sign, temporary
It is the same as it is today.
Exactly.
Correct. Yes.
All right, this is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, I have Commissioner James.
Make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Second from Vice Mayor Llewellyn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. All right, item 12.4 passes unanimously. That's it for second reading ordinances. Now we're going to go into item 13.1. This is discussion and possible action. This is my item, and I received an email requesting a letter of support for U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Clean Ports Program, Zero Emission Technology Deployment Competition. So this is for our port. You know, we share the port with Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale, and they're seeking a $150 million grant for shore power. So basically, when the cruise ships come into port and they're at their berths, they have to keep their engines running. So their engines have to keep running, and they don't shut them down because they don't have enough power at shore. So with this grant, Port Everglades will be able to have enough shore power where the cruise ships and, you know, the cargo ships can shut their, it's mainly cruise ships because they have to keep the engines going, where they shut down their engines and they could plug into the shore. So it's better for the environment, it's better for the cruise industry, it's better for our port overall. And, you know, a letter of support coming from the entire city would be much better than just coming from an individual. So that's why I'm seeking support from the commission to send a letter of support, you know, to the EPA. All right? Okay, so I have consensus for that. Sweet. Thank you, guys. All right. Now for appointments, Police and Fire Pension Board, we have one vacancy, and I think we would like to appoint Albert Jones to that spot. Yeah, Mr. Jones. So do I have consensus from the commission? Okay, Al Jones is now on our Police and Fire Pension Board. Great to have you back involved with the city, Al. And now for commission comments, we will start with Commissioner Joyce Davis.
Good evening and good night.
Wow, Commissioner Davis. Yeah, if you're going to be short, that was a long
I don't
meeting.
even
Huh?
have my stuff together.
All right,
now.
Commissioner James.
Listen, I don't have my stuff together. I was not expecting that.
You have
honey.
time.
I don't know, Maxine. I don't even know what it. Okay, I can start from this. Olson. Again, thank you all so much for all of us who have done our part up here to advocate for it. I know I'm the education liaison, but we all are. And we all have to do what is necessary in order to continue to, you know, make our communities and our cities run. Maxine, I'm almost sure that I threw your paper in the garbage. I am going to ask for funding for monies. Number one, I know that we have the, I know that we have the key to the city in Dania Point coming. I would like to also, because I think it would be robbery if we do not, I would like to also have the smaller plaques with the key to Bob Shapiro and Terry Salzman. They are the founders and the visionaries of Dania Point. So I'm asking for authorization to give them a smaller key. They can't take the big key home. So fine. Okay. And then the monies the monies, how much was it, Maxine? Because the paper, I don't know, I got a lot of paper up here. It's gone, I don't know. The monies in order to pay for the plaques, I think the plaque and the pedestal. I think you all received the email about it, but I have to, no, the plaque that is going to go on the large key to the city.
Oh, for Daniel Point?
Yes, I'm asking to use their funding out of contingency. It was like $4,500. How? Huh? 5900.
Yeah.
I don't know. They keep what are so we approved a certain amount, but I don't think that included the
Commissioner bringing you back
plaques.
the cost. It's like 4 feet tall, 5 feet tall, and it's the plaques on the different sides.
So this is just the plaques, or this is for the entire thing?
No, this is for the entire thing.
Oh, so why am I asking? I already asked for money for it.
Probably didn't have a number in
I don't think you had the numbers for the plaques.
Oh,
Okay, it's fine. We have
Okay, all right.
$5,900. We have approval.
Yeah.
There
Okay,
we go.
great.
We can move forward.
I wanted to. You all should have updates or on your schedules for the DJ Nasty school takeover. The principals are super excited. I'm excited. I hope you all could join us. I hope when I'm gone from the dais that this is something that could be budgeted. It's $4,500. Maybe put it as a placeholder in the contingency for the commission or however you want to do it. But I think it is fantastic. Something that we can advertise and market and attract some more students for. These are the things that we do.
Is this the second year?
This is the first year.
Is it the first year?
It's the first time. No, we had Embrace. Well, we had Embrace Girls, their organization, come and do things at the schools, but this is like a total school takeover, and so I've never been a part of it, and so I'll be joining with you all with that. And then the gala, I was told that I know that we discussed it in the Northwest Conference Room during the budget, but we needed to officially have the consensus on the board for what we discussed with the gala. So again, seeking consensus for that so the city could plan us a gala in September, you said?
Yes. Have you all received any funding or sponsorships? Because if not, I'm going to need probably $100,000 for the gala.
Well, we were waiting to. We needed a sponsorship deck. We needed something to go out to them, but no, so we can go out and secure funds. Like I don't know what to show them, what they would get with any donation, but we still wanted to get the approval and then work on that. But we haven't done anything since the budget meeting, and so.
We had spoken that it needed to come.
Right,
for an
so that's where
official motion
I
here.
am now. Consensus? The gala.
Well, if we get some funding for it, I'm for it. I thought I think that, I understand what you're saying. If we can, maybe, since we could get somebody to draw up sponsorship packages that we could call around and tell what it involves. Like if we even decide to do the gala, and we get a consensus to do it, if we can get a sponsor package, we can go to people like some people over here tonight and other things and say, would you mind sponsoring? I would be willing to guarantee you that I know it's a lot of work for us to do, but if we have enough money, we can outsource a lot of it, maybe, and that'd help a little bit. But I think we could sell $100,000 worth of sponsor tables without a problem.
I think it's very important. I'm going to put it on the record. When you guys did the gala 2010, 15 years ago.
2010, yeah.
For the 2010, that was your event. That was the 110th.
Right.
I just want you to know that for the
I know. I don't want to get into. I know we're doing a lot of stuff. I understand that. I understand that we're doing a lot of stuff. I also know that we already had, consensus to have a gala. I'm trying to get us past this part of us keep talking about it. or either be about it. What has to happen is we either have to approve the money or not approve the money and then try to recoup the money on the back end because there's a lot of planning and stuff that has to go into place. I don't think we have time for 2 months to try to fundraise money and at the last minute say, this is what we raised or did not raise, and let's give it to the city because that would be unfair. So either we want to do it as a group or we don't want to do it as a group, and we can work hard to get sponsorships on top of that. We have ticket sales that's going to be for the tables, but I want to either do it or let it go. I mean, it's lingering and I don't like that. So if we want to give the money now and work on the sponsorships later, fine. If not, that's fine. So I need consensus, Mayor.
Commissioner Davis, you want to discuss this?
Well, my stance is the same as it was in the budget meeting. I don't think this should come from the taxpayer dollars, but if we can fundraise for it, if you want to fundraise for it, I can't be a part of the fundraising team. I can go and talk to a couple of people, but at the end of the day, if we're going to be responsible, I want to make sure that we're using the sponsorship deck and being able to fundraise for it. So at the end of the day, if we're not going to fundraise for it, then I would say no. But if you're going to fundraise for it, then you can move forward with it.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Vice Mayor?
I think we already have plenty of events going on for the 120th, and I don't want to keep tapping into the same resources over and over again, so my vote on this would be no, not to do it.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Yeah, for me, there's, you guys know what I'm trying to save over there, and if we could use our contingency funds towards that, I think it would be more beneficial to the community than having, a gala. However, it's great to celebrate our city's 120th anniversary. It's just at this point in time where I am with what I'm trying to do, by preserving our history, it doesn't work out for me when it comes to contingency funds.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess it fails. I mean, we spent $75,000 on a book, just for context. And I know that the book holds history and everything else, but we spent $75,000 on a book, and no one's going to pay for that book. Are they paying for the book, or are we giving them out? We're giving them out.
I don't know.
And so, I mean, with an event, at least people are going to pay for the ticket. So, all right, I'll let that go. That's dead. Last but not least, I am asking for authorization for my contingencies. I believe about $2,500. I want to restart. I used to do a mentoring called Pillow Talk with our teen girls, and I've been approached to continue to start back that program, and that will take me through the end of the year to be able to have it at C.W. Thomas Park starting off once a month, to be able to get a group of girls and mentor them. We won't take photos and stuff because it'll be very personal and private issues and stuff that we talk about, building trust within the community and having our young ladies to have a voice. So do I have support for that?
We have consensus?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, great.
Good night.
Thank you, Commissioner James. Big night, big night. All right, Commissioner Salvino. Going back to Commissioner Davis.
Thank goodness for Maxine. No, it's because she reminded me and I forgot. Principal Jean Cartlier, we had approved $3,900 towards the 8th grade promotion when they went to go look at the space at Dania Point. The space was too narrow for the parents to be able to see their children on stage, and so they weren't able to go through with the contract. However, it has been requested that we reallocate those funds to the 8th grade promotion, or the 8th grade formal, so that the kids can have a good end of the year graduation celebration. And so I'm seeking consensus to reallocate the funds from the graduation to the formal. Thank you. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Salvino.
The only thing I really have to say is I want to thank the city for all the kindness that they gave me with my brother's passing. So, and my feelings are a little bit hurt that nobody's saying happy birthday to me. That's all. Thank you. No, it was last week. But you guys always saying happy birthday to everybody else, and my feelings are hurt. I'm okay, thank you. That's all, Mayor.
All right. Vice Mayor Llewellyn.
Happy birthday, Commissioner. Anyway, just two things really briefly. The tree giveaway, very successful. Great idea, great plan, do it every year. And even the people who received them after the fact I keep getting people showing up and telling me how happy they were and that it's a beautiful tree and that they were surprised at how big it was, and they were very, very grateful. So good job, and let's do it again. And then just reiterating on Olson, and we all worked really hard, and that's part of why I'm so tired tonight, because I've been doing this for like 2 weeks now, showing up at meetings and staying until God knows when. As I've said to a couple of my colleagues up here, we are stronger together when we work together as a team, and we get things done. I'm glad to see us coming together on certain things. I wish it could be on everything, but at least it's on a few things, and that's a big step forward. So that's it. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Okay, I'll start on. I'm on the executive committee board for the Solid Waste Authority. We've been meeting bi-weekly for the last 6-7 months now since we created the board, and we've been working to create a master plan for how we dispose of our waste and recycle for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, all the way up to 40 years. So we're creating long-term and short-term plans. And we just hired a executive director. He's a gentleman, his name's Todd Storty. He's from California, and he has many years, he has decades of experience in disposal and waste and recycling over in California. And what's funny about how he got hired, there's many candidates, is he had nothing to do with incineration, which is how we handle most of our trash over here. He never even handled incineration. So he has to actually go to a class to learn about incineration before, as he's our executive director. So obviously he's gonna bring a lot of out-of-the-box thinking that people that just have been, in the Miami-Dade County, Broward County, beat for a while. This guy, it brings good ideas, and the board has been collaborating very well, and we're moving as fast as we can. That's why we've been meeting bi-weekly. So I'm going to try and bring in Mr. Storty to give us kind of, an introduction to himself and his plan. He has a lot. Right now, he's just trying to gather all the information, and then we're going to come up with a plan. It's going to take years, but I think it's taken 7 or 8 years to create this authority. And they finally just created this executive board. So that's exciting, and it's not just a Dania thing. This is a county thing. It's a South Florida thing. It's huge. So, we have an incinerator right here on the outskirts of our city, so this determines how that's going to be utilized or transformed or changed in the future. And yeah, Olson, what an accomplishment by the city, not just by the city, but by the county. By Fort Lauderdale and Hollywood and us, we all came together with other cities. And what really impressed me the most was, you guys are all impressive already, and we always care about our community, but it was the school board actually listening. We all know in government officials, once they make a decision, that's pretty much it. So for them to actually come out and hold these town halls and listen to our voices and read our letters and listen to the parents and the students, I commend them. I definitely commend the school board on making that choice to keep Olson open, and I know that Olson is going to keep trending in the right direction for them to make it even easier decision in the future to keep it open and enhance it. And I think the county heard us, and they're going to reinvest back into our schools as opposed to closing them down. And this is an election year. There's 5 seats open, so especially Dr. Zeman, what he said at that meeting. I know some of you were there. He's a true leader, really, a true leader, and I just want to commend them for that, and Dr. Hepburn as well. And with that, I will discuss, the Frost House, 158 North Federal Highway. We've all discussed this through and through. Everybody's went to the house. I thank you for that. I've been speaking with a couple of the local developers in the area, and a lot of them are actually interested in this project. So the only way that we could know if we could get it for a better price is if we put it out for an RFP. So I was seeing if we could get that approval from the commission to put it out for an RFP to get quotes, on moving the property. Commissioner James?
Yes, my issue isn't moving the property. My issue is how much the total project is going to cost. So I'm okay with the RFP for moving the property, but I want to be clear. I want to have a clear plan for how we're going to fund the entire project, which is probably going to be maybe over $2 million. I don't know. That's just me throwing it out there. But that's my only thing. I don't want to go down a hole if we don't have support here to say we're going to fund the entire project. I mean, unless you want to put it out the RFP just to put it out there. But even if the RFP comes back, I'm not going to be comfortable to vote on moving the property unless we know that this commission is going to support the finances behind the restoration of it and the location.
Okay. Well, yeah, Vice Mayor?
How much would it cost to do the RFP?
I do not know.
That we would need to know.
It's staff time and just some advertising.
Okay. I mean, how much staff time? I mean, that's the whole thing, because everybody's very busy. We have a lot of projects going on.
The format for an RFP is basic. I think we just have to do the scope for the moving, so I don't think it's that much.
Okay, I would agree with what Commissioner James just said as well.
Okay, so we could put out for an RFP to move it. There's steps to it, and we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. The fact that we found a location to move it, and that we can move it, and we got control of the house. The house was basically donated to us. Then that's a good start. And it could be less. It's not only that it could just be more. It could be less for the restoration. And I think this is something. Once the city moves it, we could really get the community behind it to raise money and fix it up in the way that it needs to be.
Has there been any fundraising as of yet?
Yeah, we raised what, $6,000 so far. So, yeah, and that was just at the commission meeting. So that's pretty good. And I think we can continue on, but it's really our responsibility as a commission, I'd say, to preserve the culture and heritage of our city. There's not many houses that are built in 1913 in all of South Florida, let alone Dania Beach. And like I said, the architectural significance of this property and the historical significance, being that our founder built it, is very important to our community. The Stranahan House in Fort Lauderdale, do we all know that? That's on the river. The house was built in 1901. It was only built 12 years before, this house in Dania, and that was considered like a wilderness outpost. So it's just what I see in other communities when I travel is they have so much history. Like say you go up to Philadelphia or New York or even somewhere in the South, they have so much history that they try and preserve all of it and try and save all of it. We have so little history here in such a short time, and it seems like it just goes away so quickly. So that's why I'm saying it's kind of our responsibility and our duty as a commission and where we are at this point in time to preserve our history and create interest in the community. So that's how I feel about it. I feel that it's very important for the fabric of Dania Beach because it was created by the founder, Frost. It's a very popular name here, and the architectural style and the material is extremely rare for South Florida in general. So that's where I stand, and I really appreciate you guys sticking with me on this.
I'm okay with you going out to RFP as long as in the time that this comes back, we have a plan that we can vote on up or down, and that we now have financial obligations that we have said we would help with OSIN. So we need to see what that looks like. We need to see how much money that's going to take in order try to help save the school or whatever the school board's going to come back with. But in the time that the RFP is out, if you get the support to go out for the RFP, we really have to sit down and have a conversation. I don't know if it's a workshop. I don't know what we do in order to have that discussion, but we need to discuss even if we're okay with moving it there, because that's tight quarters. Like, we really have to come up with a plan. Or Mayor, you need to come up, Spirit, this is your item, come up with a plan to present to us so we can really have the discussion. That includes timetables, that includes money, that includes location. I mean, I don't want to take up the RFP, and we can do that. And if you are able to then get the support, the RFP could already be out. But so maybe that's an idea.
Yeah, I just feel like we have to start somewhere, and the RFP for moving the property is a good start. And yeah, in that time, we can see, we could reach out to these companies that, with the Persons Group that just, we awarded the contract for Nyberg Swanson. I'm sure this would be a project that they're interested in. So from the work that we've done and the developers that we've made relationships who have been working in our city, I think we have a lot of good resources that we can reach out to, especially at this time. And, it's only one house like this. It's not like there's 10 of them around, so this, like I said, it's a good opportunity. And with the construction going on and the resources that we have with the developers and the contractors, and with our historical restoration relationships that we've been making with the other companies, it's a solid time to move. And we are at a press for time with that property. We only do have till the end of the year, so that's why I wanted to make it, kind of an urgency that we can move forward. Commissioner Salvino?
I know you're very passionate about this, and I can see it because you say it over and over again. The thing that I don't see, though, is I don't see Historical Society coming up with the same plan we just talked about. The Commissioner James just said, like, get a plan together, how much the RFP is going to be, how much it's going to cost to restore it, where it's going to go. We're throwing it out there. I want to save a house. And to me, just wanting to save a house is not the answer that I want to hear, because I'm not in favor of it at that point. I'd like to see the people that really want it, the residents that really want it, the people that are in the Historical Society that really want it. I want to see you start a GoFundMe or something and keep a track of all of those names. And in case it doesn't go, you can give them their money back. But in the meantime, you're asking the taxpayers to fund another $1 million or more, and we turn away this, we turn away that, we fund this, until I see the Historical Society come up with $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000, I'm not going to be able to stand behind it. I'm not going to I'm not going to make that decision on the commission spending that kind of money when we're doing 2 other historical homes without the people that are complaining about it not doing anything about it. So when I see that action, I'm going to be 100% behind you. But as of right now, all you're doing is asking yourself for us to do something that you feel is important, that I don't feel is as important, or maybe we all don't feel that. But we're also a team, like she just said. We should be working together. But right now, I don't feel that we're getting the support from outside, the people that elected us up here. If they want it bad enough, let's all fight together. That's just my input on it. So I would recommend that the Historical Society go out there and start some kind of a bank account, start looking for funding, and let's see the efforts that are put into it. And then you're probably gonna get a little bit more support from the commission.
Well, I thought that we had support tonight to go out for the RFP.
For the RFP, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so I have support for that. Thank you. We can move forward. All right. Baby steps. All right, everybody, meeting adjourned. Thank you.